Thank you, Ms. Harland. I'd like to call a meeting to order and acknowledge that we are in Treaty One territory, the home and traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Ojibwe, Innu, Cree, and Dakota peoples, and in the national homeland of the Red River Métis. Our drinking water comes from Shoal Lake 40 First Nation in Treaty 3 territory. My name is Robert Hutchings. I will be chairing the hearing today. I'm joined on the panel by Mr. Kent Seelan and Mr. Doug Marks. Our secretary today is Ms. Harland. To the Zoom participants of the hearing, please note you are placed in the waiting room until your property is called upon. When it is your turn, you will be admitted into the meeting. Kindly follow along on the City of Winnipeg's Board of Revision YouTube channel for the hearing process. Once the host admits you into the hearing, please close or mute your YouTube player. You will then be permitted to speak with respect to your property. Once your hearing is concluded, you can leave the meeting. We will be hearing applications for revision of the assessment roll in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters for which revision is requested have been described in each application, and we will limit discussion to those matters. The statements that are made at this hearing are sworn testimony, and anyone speaking to the matters must be sworn in. Be advised that comparisons of assessments of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the Board of Revision. The Board of Revision is appointed annually by council and is independent of it and the city administration. It makes its decisions on the basis of the evidence provided at this hearing and issues a written order that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the board's decisions with respect to an application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or to the Court of King's Bench if the matter pertains to the application of exemptions from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included with this board's order. With respect to the hearing process, I will confirm the points of appeal with your property to be addressed with each applicant following their swearing in. We will then have the assessor's testimony followed by questioning by the applicant and the panel, and then the applicant's testimony followed by questioning again. Each side will have an opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all the evidence about an application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket today. The session will close after all the applications have been heard, and the board will deliberate in private and make its decisions based on the evidence presented here today. You will receive the board's decision by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will be part of the public record. We will hear items 1, 3, 5, and 7 through 12 on our docket today. Mrs. Harland, please affirm the assessor and the applicant's testimony.
Madam Assessor Kilbourne, would you please state your full name?
Amanda Kilbourne.
Thank you. Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Madam Assessor Bishop, would you please state your full name?
Patricia Bishop.
Thank you. Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, we do not have our first applicant here.
Okay, so item number 1 is file number 25-292, roll number 120914-22000. Address is 114 Balmoral Street, and we're dealing with a 2026 realty assessment appeal. Mrs. Harland, you state that the applicant is not present via via Zoom or present at the hearing. Is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. And have we heard any information from that applicant at all this morning or in the last couple of days?
No, Mr. Chair.
Okay. In the absence of the applicant, item number 1, file number 25292. property address will be moved to the end of the docket. Next item on the docket is item number 3, file number 25-322, roll number 13-0313-07,000. Address is 751 Home Street. Anybody, any information on that item on the docket? Mrs. Harlan?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have evidence submission and our applicant is participating by Zoom.
Okay,
Dylan Chambers.
okay. Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Chambers.
Good morning.
Bear with us while we find your information on the docket.
Mr. Chair,
Hello.
hi, may I ask to be put in the waiting room until my files come up?
Of
Because
course.
I'm also attending a different meeting at the same time, so that'd be
Oh.
great. Thank you.
Harlan?
I can swear Mr. Chambers in whenever you're ready, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Yes, please.
Mr. Chambers, would you please state your full name?
Dylan Ray Chambers.
Thank you. Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
I am just trying to find the assessor's brief.
And Mr. Chair, we do have the issue of some late evidence.
From this property?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So we're dealing with 751 Home Street. Can you explain, Mrs. Harland, that regarding that late evidence?
We received the applicant's evidence late. I had to mark it late.
Okay,
So if you'd like to discuss that situation, we can call a recess.
okay. Does the assessor have any comments regarding that?
Like regarding whether
Late evidence.
I looked at the evidence this morning before, like right when I got in. So I see the evidence that was provided.
Okay,
It's I'm okay with
submission.
yeah.
Okay, and to the applicant, sir, is there a reason why the evidence was submitted late?
I must have it's my mistake. Apologize. I must have misread the paper. I thought that the submission was the Monday before the court date, not the Friday before, the way it was laid out. So that was my bad.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, thank you. We will now recess and discuss the issue of a late evidence submission. Mrs. Harlan? Thank you, Mrs. Harlan. I will now call hearing back to order. In regards to the late submission of evidence, the panel decision is to allow that evidence to be submitted. Therefore, Ms. Kilborn, when you're ready, please, 751 Home Street.
Okay, so the property is 751 Home Street, roll number 1303130700. The property is located in the Daniel McIntyre neighborhood. It's a 1 3/4 single-family dwelling with an effective age of 1961. It is 1,127 square feet with an unfinished basement. It has 2 bathrooms, and there is a back lane influence. The lot size is 2,498 square feet. The comparable properties are 773 Simcoe Street, 661 Alverston Street, 734 Lipton Street, and 804 Home Street. They are all 1 3/4 story single family dwellings with effective ages between 1944 and 1960. The square footages range from 1,066 to 1,167 square feet. They all have unfinished basements except for 804 has a small percentage of the areas being finished in their basement. They 773 Simcoe and 661 Elverson have 2 bathrooms, and 734 Lipton and 804 Home have 1 bathroom. 773 Simcoe has air conditioning and the rest do not. The lot sizes range from 2,346 to 3,509 square feet. The time adjusted prices range from 200,000 and 208,000 and to 269, 600. And the comparable properties all have some type of renovations. The subject property has also been renovated, as well as having some permits taken out after possession. The most comparable properties are comparables 1, 2, and 3, and the subject property is probably up there with being the most updated out of all of them. The subject property's 2026 value is 208,000, and I believe that the comparables support this value.
Thank you, Ms. Kilborn. Ms. Kilborn, at this time, I ask you to explain the parameters we're dealing with for reference year, reference time, and that kind of thing.
The reference date is April 1st, 2023 for this appeal, for this roll year. And so we're looking at sales between April 2021 to April 2023.
Okay.
Sales that took place in that time period.
And there is a sale on the property, but you would consider it to be
It's post-referenced, yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Does the applicant have any questions of the evidence presented by the assessor? You will have an opportunity to present your case, but could I ask you to ask questions on the evidence presented by the assessor only at this time?
Yes, thank you for asking. The only question is you had mentioned at the start of the meeting that the listings or property listings kind of don't count. So I'm just a little confused surrounding the comparison between properties in the neighborhood when you said at the start of the meeting that MLS listings or property listings don't count as evidence.
Ms. Kilborn?
Well, we're looking at sales that took place within the reference period. So the reference period is April 2021 to April 2023. So anything that's happening currently is not part of this time period. That would be considered for the next reassessment. We do reassessments every 2 years. So we look at reference periods for each reassessment period. And it's always prior to what's going on currently in the market. So for this assessment for 2026, we're looking at sales that already took place between April 21 and April 23, not current listings.
Okay, good.
Does that answer your question, sir?
Partially. I guess that's why I'm here today. This is democracy in action. I'm gonna ask one more question. So you said the sales that took place between 2022, I believe, and 2022 and 2023, but the home was purchased in 2020. I purchased the home in 2024, and the renovations were done after that, or after the 2023 and 2022.
It's the current condition of the property based on the sales within our reference period.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Any other questions, sir?
That's it for me.
Okay, for now, thank you. All right. Mr. Marks, any questions of the assessor's evidence?
No questions this time. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Seelan, any questions?
Just for clarification, were the renovations done during the current reference period?
I don't know when the renovations were done. I see the listing and I can see that renovations were done based on that listing. I don't know. There was no permits taken out for the renovation, so I'm not sure when they were done, but they're currently done and it's based on current condition of the property.
Okay, thank you. That's all
Thank
my
you.
questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Seelan. Ms. Kilborn, I note there's a effective year built. Was that in place before the sale or was that recently done?
I believe that would have been, I believe that would have been done based on the sale. But I didn't verify the sale, but it's based on like the age variant that it has right now is reflective of what the property looks like at the time of that sale.
That
What the upgrades are for the property currently.
yeah, so that reflects the current condition of the
Yeah,
property.
it does reflect the current condition, yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. That is all my questions. Sir, if you give us a moment to get to your evidence presented. Okay. Okay. When you're ready, sir, please.
Yeah, so again, thank you for the opportunity to present the appeal here. I'll just start by saying maybe we can just disregard the listings that I had presented. I'll be honest, I wasn't sure what to present. I'm a first-time homeowner, so this is my first time doing this. But yeah, I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to present my appeal. And yeah, I'm here to because I believe my property, maybe it was overassessed and maybe it doesn't match the reasons why I think it would that I think it should. Basically, I purchased my home last year or in 2024 rather, and at the time of my purchase, the property taxes were about 1,600 per year. And since then, there's two tax increases, and the property tax has essentially doubled. And I believe that the property itself has not increased in value since I bought it. So when we did purchase the property, it was renovated. I guess it would be considered a flip. So we did buy it with the awareness that maybe there's some things that let me try to reframe my words here. We bought it knowing that maybe the people who renovated it overlooked some things, or maybe they were just trying to make a profit off of it because a family wasn't living here. They bought it, they flipped it, we bought it from them, first time home kind of thing. So essentially, after moving in, I discovered significant problems with the property and that it directly affects its market value. I did present one picture of just water in the basement, so I wasn't sure how to present that evidence in this hearing. So essentially, we bought the house, and when it rained, very much like tons of water in the basement. Now, when you buy a property, I'm not familiar with what the paper's called, but essentially they check off, has there been any signs of water in the basement? And that's a legal document. And they said, no, there hasn't. There has never been water in the basement. So we purchased the property. A couple days later, we move in. And yeah, it rains and there's a ton of water in the basement. So we have to go get a shop vac, get that out, and huge issue there. Secondly, when we purchased the property, we had a house inspection done through the realtor that we used, and everything seemed to be okay and up to code and everything. However, we came to find out that the electrical panel in the basement, they had placed a 100 amp panel case over a 60 amp service. So it looked like we had a 100 amp service in the house, which we did not, because again, it's a flip, but we didn't think they were going to be this dishonest, and they put a panel, 100 amp panel over a 60 amp panel case. So that was very deceiving, and that makes the electrical system, outdated. Brought up a lot of concerns, and the person had mentioned permits have been pulled. So that was why we got a permit, is because we got the new electrical panel installed. So additionally, I believe that the issues that I just brought up are not were not reflected in the assessment. And yeah, they're real issues. They're measurable factors that I believe reduce the value of my property based on the condition of on its condition and everything. So I don't know if the assessment directly ties into taxes, but yeah, I believe that it's too high, and I respectfully request that my property assessment be adjusted downward to more accurately reflect its fair market value, taking the significant issues that I've described. And other than that, I think that's mainly my concern. So I thank you for your time and your consideration. And yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Does the assessor have any questions on the evidence presented by the applicant?
Okay, so you did do the electrical. So the electrical is now, you have updated that, so that is done, correct?
Excuse me. Yes, we got a new 100 amps
Okay.
installed. Yeah.
And then you also added the air conditioning and the furnace to the property too?
Yeah. So can I actually back up on that a little bit? So we got the air conditioning, but here's the thing. So I mentioned the water in the basement. When we bought the house, the move-in date was scheduled for, I think it was the Monday of. I apologize. Forgive me for not having this information on in the meeting. I definitely was not prepared for this. So we bought the house. The move-in date was the Monday. And then the realtor said, well, the sellers want to push it till Friday. Okay, so we pushed it till Friday. It was the summertime when we moved in. And like I had mentioned, a couple days into the move, it started raining. There's water in the basement. So we didn't actually need to use the furnace. So it gets a little bit colder in the coming weeks. We turned the furnace on, and the furnace actually wasn't working because the water in the basement had touched the electrical panel on the furnace. So part of the agreement was the sellers had to put in a new furnace because that was in the sales agreement. And we kind of went through a back and forth for about several weeks. And we came to the conclusion that they were going to give us, again, I don't have the exact number, but it was $2,800 towards a new furnace. They offered to install the furnace. We said no because they've already were dishonest about the water and about the panel in the basement. So we took the money from them. We got the AC and the furnace installed at the same time and used the funds that they gave us to put towards that. So just to recap, we didn't actually purchase the furnace. That was part of the deal because the water in the basement damaged the one that was supposed to come to the house with the house. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Ms.
I don't
Coble?
have any other questions. Thank you.
You. Mr. Marks, any questions of the applicant?
Yes, just one. What would you consider a fair market value on the home?
Sorry, I didn't hear you properly.
What would you consider a fair market value on your home?
Well, to be honest, I'm not quite sure. Again, I'm a first-time home buyer. We did purchase the house for $230,000, but the issues that I had just brought forward, I don't think reflect that because, again, to get the basement fixed, it's several thousands of dollars to fix that. So I don't know how to answer that question.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Thank you. Mr. Seelan, any questions of the applicant?
Yes, have you got any quotations for the repair of your basement?
Say that again, sorry?
Yes, have you got any quotations for the repair of your basement? Have you done any analysis and had a contractor quote what it would cost to fix the basement with respect to the leaking water?
Yes, so we did get one quote, and we did have um like there was when we moved in, there was like a sub pit or sub pump or something installed, but it wasn't installed correctly, so we had put had got someone to put one in for us, a company, and other than that, there's like the corner of the house that I think that's where the water's coming from, where the foundation has like shifted. So we did get a quote for that.
What was the dollar sum for the quote to fix
I
it
I believe it was $14,000.
40,000? Okay. Are you planning on fixing the basement soon?
Not fully, no. At this point, we're not going to.
Okay, but are you planning on actually fixing the basement with this quotation?
No, no.
No. Okay. So how are you gonna deal with the water issues?
Well, I guess just gonna have to. It didn't really rain this year, so it wasn't too bad this year. But the year before was very bad. And then in the winter there was a little bit in the corner, like from the snow melting. But I think that just comes with having an old house. But the other ones were actually groundwater coming into the basement. So
Sure. Thank you. That's all. Any questions, Mr. Chair?
thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Seelan. To the applicant. Okay, so you said the level of the water actually affected the electrical supply of the furnace. How many inches of water did you have in the basement?
So it would have been, I would say maybe like nearly a foot.
And was that sewer backup or was that just leakage from the rainfall?
I would say that anytime it rained or poured, it would like groundwater coming into the basement. Definitely not sewer.
Yeah, okay. Oh boy. Okay. So regarding the estimate that Mr. Seelan asked you about for repairing, I think I noticed from your pictures that it looks like the exterior walls of the basement were lined and drywalled, insulated drywalled. Oh, you're on mute, sir.
The basement was not insulated. They just put drywall. Like there's drywall in the basement, but it's not insulated. We actually use the yeah. My apologies. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then you said that there was a structure, I'm going to call it a foundation problem that's causing that leak. Is there, I guess, considering the age of the house, it's probably an older stone basement. Would that be accurate?
Exactly. Yeah, it's an old house. So I mean, we weren't aware of that, but yeah, you can see at the corner that it's like kind of shifted a little bit.
Okay, so there's actually cracking in the foundation
Yes.
or separation in the stonework and the masonry, possibly, I guess.
Yeah, like the neighbor had said that there used to be a chimney on the roof, and I think like it got knocked down by a tree hitting it or whatever, and there's not a chimney there anymore. But I think personally, I think that's what caused it. Is maybe the chimney fell off, and I think that's common. So
Okay, so my last question is the property is, pardon me, assessed at $208,000. We're going to ignore that post-reference sale that you stated. What do you think the assessment should be reflecting the problems that you've detailed in your presentation? How much of an adjustment and assessment are you asking for to reflect those problems?
again, I don't know what the answer is, and I certainly don't want to come to the board of revision meeting and being like, this is what's wrong and that's what's wrong, and being disrespectful and that sort of thing. Again, I'm a first-time home buyer. The property taxes have increased 2 times since we moved in here, and it's not even been 2 years yet. And I don't know if that reflects the assessed value, but I mean, just to be very blunt and honest, the neighborhood's not the greatest. There's literally shopping carts in front of the house,
Okay,
needles on the street, and that sort of thing. So, yeah, that's my main concern. But I believe the issues that I brought forward do reflect what I've stated today.
yeah, okay. Well, the assessment, although we don't deal with the taxation part of this in this hearing, the assessment is used to calculate your taxes due when a mill rate is applied to them. So the assessment value determines, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at an opinion of value on the home reflecting its current condition. So again, so you can't come up with a number. As if you think 208,000 is wrong, can you give me a ballpark reflecting the problems, just for the record?
Absolutely. So, I mean, given the quote and the quote, I think $190,000 under the 200 mark. I think it's fair. Or my apologies. I don't know.
Okay, so your opinion is in around $190,000. Would that be accurate? Okay, okay. That's all we were asking for is what you think the assessment should be. Okay, Ms. Kilborn, any requirement for summary at all?
Well, I do feel that the value currently right now is at the low end based on all the comparables. I understand that he's saying there's some issues with the home. I also don't have air conditioning on our record, so that is something I would have to add. And I guess also maybe building up on the side of the house could be a way to help prevent water from coming into the basement where I'm not sure if that has been something that has been done yet, but I do feel that even with some of the issues that our value is still at the low end of the comparables. And
Okay,
that's everything.
thank you.
Thank you.
Did the applicant any requirement for summary?
No.
Okay,
Thank
all right.
you so much.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks for appearing, and we'll consider all the evidence presented, and you hear from us as soon as possible, okay? Thank you.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
That concludes 751 Home Street. Next item on the docket is item number 5, file number 25146, roll number 120802, 67000, address 1336 Wolseley Avenue. We're dealing with a 2026 realty assessment appeal. Mrs. Harland, is there anybody present for this property?
No, Mr. Chair, there isn't.
So nobody waiting on Zoom or in the meeting here.
No.
Okay, all right. As there's nobody present for file number 5, item number 5, pardon me, 25-146, 1336 Wolseley Avenue. We will move that. We'll move the item to the end of the docket and deal with it later on in the hearing. Okay, now. Next property on the docket is item number 7, file number 25-321, roll number 12070216100. Address is 772 Renfrew Street. And we're dealing with a 2026 realty assessment appeal. Mrs. Harlan, anybody present for that property?
Yes, we have the applicant here. May I swear the applicant in, Mr. Chair?
Yes, please.
Right. Mr. Santos, would you please state the full name?
Carlos Jose Santos.
Thank you. Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Good morning, Mr. Santos.
Good morning.
We're dealing with 772 Renfrew Street.
Correct.
Ms. Kilborn, when you're ready, please, 772 Renfrew Street.
Okay, so this is for 772 Renfrew Street, roll number 1207021610000. The property is located in the Mathers neighborhood. It's a one-story single-family dwelling built in 1958. It's 1,144 square feet with a finished basement, 2 bathrooms, 1 half and 1 full, air conditioning, and a detached garage. The lot size is 9,357 square feet, and there is a rail line influence. The comparable properties are 688 Renfrew Street, 825 Renfrew Street, 671 Centennial Street, and 592 Lanark Street. They are all one-story single-family dwellings built with effective ages between 1958 and 1967. The square footages range from 1,048 square feet to 1,144 square feet. They all have finished basements. 688 Renfrew has 1 bathroom. 677 Centennial and 593 Lanark have 2. And 825 Renfrew has 3 bathrooms. They all have central air conditioning. They all have detached garages, and the lot sizes range from 4,586 square feet to 7,917 square feet. There is a rail line influence for 688 Renfrew, and there is a school influence for 592 Lanark. The time adjusted prices range from 426,100 to 475,300. And then our 2026 value is 438,000. There was a conversation between the previous assessor that was discussing this. And there was conversation that there have been upgrades done to this property that are not reflected in this value. As well as it was discussed also that the homeowner stated that the basement is now unfinished, which we don't have reflected. But we requested an inspection. I believe twice there was an inspection requested and it wasn't done. But even with the basement being finished and the renos not being reflected, this value I still believe should be maintained based on the comparable properties. So the 438 I feel should be maintained.
Thank you, Ms. Kilborn.
Thank you.
Mr. Santos, any question of the assessor's evidence presented?
Quite a few. So is the assessor here, Ms. Kilborn, is that right?
Yes.
Are you first name Kara?
Amanda.
Amanda.
No, I'm not Kara.
I spoke on the phone with them.
No, not me. Yes.
Okay, so that's who I spoke with.
Yes.
We did speak about a few things about the renovations.
Mhm.
And renovations were due to a fire,
Mhm.
which I did mention to her. There's also no AC that I also mentioned to Kara, so I'll put it, that's how I know her, so the officer, I mean.
Mr. Santos,
Yes,
can we just limit at this time
questions?
questions of the evidence presented by the assessor?
Okay, so the evidence presented, so all
Yes.
these properties that you presented, have any of them been reviewed? Have you had an inspection on any of those properties?
The comparable properties have not been
Correct.
inspected by us, no. They've been
I-
properties that have sold on MLS.
MLS, and did you read fully the MLS listings?
Of the properties, yes.
You read the listings?
I've looked at the sales and saw the properties that
So
are
you looked at
comparable
the
to yours.
sales and you saw the property, but did you actually look at the listing itself?
Yes, I did.
Concerning renovations, concerning what was done to the property, concerning why those properties sold for that amount?
Yes,
So which one of those were renovated, if you have looked at them?
I feel like
How is 680 Renfrew, which is just down the street from mine?
688 Renfrew has been maintained well, and I mean, there has been
So it doesn't say completely renovated by any chance?
I wouldn't say completely renovated, no. I would say
Not
that's
directly on the listing?
but I would say that it would be comparable to your property. That's why I chose that property.
But you just said you actually reviewed them.
I don't
right
have
on the
the
listing
listing in
it
front
says
of me,
from
so I
Chris
don't know what
Pennington.
it says right now.
Actually,
I
I have
don't
it
have the
here.
listing in front of me right this moment. But I picked, but the comparables that were picked were based on ones that would be in similar.
But that's what I'm
condition
asking,
to your
how those
property.
comparables were reviewed?
Mr. Santos,
I'm saying yes, I reviewed those comparables.
Yes.
Ms. Kilborn, just let me interject here. Mr. Santos, when you ask her a question, please allow her to answer.
I apologize.
Okay, give the assessor opportunity to answer the question before you ask another one, so we can understand what's being asked and what's answered. Okay, thank you. So Miss Kilborn, what was your,
I feel the comparables are comparable as the subject property has had the kitchen done, the flooring done, new electrical, those type of things. These comparables have had some forms of upgrades to them. I don't have the exact listings in front of me right now, but they're comparable to the subject property. And we requested an inspection, so I don't know what the subject property looks like inside. But based on the conversation that was had with the other assessor, there has been upgrades done that are not reflected in the value of our property right now.
So
We don't,
am I-
the kitchen being done, new flooring, new electrical being painted, all of those things are not part of what our value reflects.
yeah, okay,
And if we had an inspection, then we would have been able to see whether the basement is finished or not. We didn't get that done. So, I mean, we can only work with what we can do if we're unable to get an inspection.
yeah, so Mr. Santos, the assessor present is at a disadvantage. She was not involved with any conversation with the previous assessor, so she can't she can't
Yeah.
ask those questions. Can you please respect that of the assessor?
Yes, I will also ask as well, please respect the fact that I was kind of misled by the assessor, and that's why I'm kind of a little either way. So the question, so I will let you know that I was only requested one time for an inspection there. Whether it was sent by email or not, I don't know, but I requested that Kara leave me a message because I don't have an email. I don't have that. That's my wife's or ex-wife's, whatever you want to call it right now, and that type of thing. So and I also have tenants there. So she requested her on a Monday, or I can't remember what day she requested, 2 days before I had to have all the evidence submitted. And I have to provide my tenant 24 hours. They were not willing to take the day off work to show the inspection. I actually attempted one of my other properties to have an inspection, that he was the only one that's home, but he was not available at the same time. So that is my situation with that type of thing. The
Thank
other
you.
situation is,
Mr. Santos,
yes, I'm getting the,
questions of the assessor's evidence presented, then we'll deal with your evidence later, okay?
yes, it's just that she's kind of, again, you asked that since you didn't speak to the other assessor, I'm in the same position as well. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to clarify that she said those things that I don't. So it's my first time here as well, and I'm a little nervous. I've been up since 4 o'clock in the morning trying to get ready. I was already at work at 6 o'clock, so I'm trying to get through my day as well, and I have to go back to work.
Okay, understood.
I work
Okay.
14-hour days, so and that's not getting there and coming back.
Okay, so you're
At the moment, so you did not have you did not see inspections, you don't have pictures, you did not review these, you did not properly read the MLS listings, if I'm not mistaken.
I did talk to the assessor. She did speak to you, sent an email first on September 8th, then again on the 15th requesting an inspection. So there was twice. I did look at the sales, and I do feel that these sales are good comparables for your property.
So
Just don't have the sales in front of me, but I did look at them, and they're all, in my opinion, comparable to your property.
But may I ask, you just looked at the sales of it, but you didn't look at the renovations onto it?
I looked at the listing and I saw the pictures of the property, and I feel that these properties would be similar and comparable to yours based on the conversation that you had with the previous assessor and the fact that there have been renovations done to your property.
So what are the renovations that have been done to my property that the assessor?
What I know is there's a kitchen, flooring, electrical, painted. I don't know if there's anything else you can add to that. That's the information that I have.
If I'm not mistaken, flooring and painting should not be, because that's part of regular usage or regular maintenance, or like roofing, windows, painting. So that's not part of a renovation, if I'm not mistaken.
Flooring is part of renovation. Electrical, flooring, kitchen. Anytime you change,
If I'm not mistaken, it says any flooring, rugged carpet, or anything like that is not part of renovations.
okay.
It is part of renovations. But you can discuss your.
Anyways, we'll keep going.
Property. I don't know. I wasn't
Now,
able to do
did
the
she let
inspection,
you
so I don't
know that there's no air conditioning as well? And what other renovations she let you know? So the only thing that was really renovated was the cabinets. The electrical was done, but that should be grandfathered in. Because there was no permit taken out, the electrician, it was a fire. So either way. So that's basically my only questions because she basically almost doesn't really know much about the property, so there's no point really asking her, so.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Seelan, any questions of the assessor?
Yes, you mentioned that there's a land influence with respect to the rail line. Is this a main line or is this a spur? Do you know?
I believe there's I didn't look at that. I believe there's a like train track behind the property, but maybe the homeowner would be able to answer that better. I believe there's a train track right behind them.
Okay, thank you. That's all my questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Seelan. Mr. Marks, any questions of the assessor?
Yes, were there any building permits taken out of this property?
Not recently. I don't see any recent ones. I mean, the fire permit probably, but there was no other ones besides
permit for
that.
But there was no permit taken out for the electrical?
No.
Not maybe through the permits department, but I don't have it in on my where I can see it.
Something
I
like
don't-
that should have been done, but. So no further permits were taken out on this property?
As of right now, I don't know if I don't see anyone's, but maybe the homeowner would be able to say whether he's taken out any other permits.
And this property, you feel is comparable to your comparables?
I feel it's there. Yeah, I feel that based on the age, size, attributes, everything is very comparable to the subject property.
And on the property, there's says it's a multiple car garage.
Yep.
Is that a fairly new structure?
That one was, yeah, it's newer than I would say. It's 2008 and it's quite large. It's an 864 square foot, so it's quite a bit larger than an average detached garage in that area anyways.
Okay. And that was built in 08, you said?
Yeah, it says 2008. Yes.
Okay. No further questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marks. To the assessor, as much knowledge as you have, there was a fire damage permit taken out, is that right?
There was a fire, yes.
What year was that? If you would have that.
Let me just see if it states in my notes. Just give me 1 second, please. It doesn't say the year that was done. I don't know.
Okay. All right, and there was no value assigned to that?
No, I don't have any value on there, no, unfortunately.
Okay,
Let me just see if I can.
thank you. I'll give you a moment if you can't.
I can just try and see if I can find it in one other spot, but I don't have it right here.
Okay, thank you.
No, that just shows the garage. Yeah, I don't know when the fire was.
Okay, well, that's the homeowner or the property
Sure,
owner.
yeah.
Applicant, thank you. All right, that's
Yeah.
all my questions. Mr. Santos, do we have a written submission from Mr. Santos, Mrs. Harland?
Yes, we do. It
Okay,
should be in your file.
okay. Okay, Mr. Santos, when you're ready, please.
So 772 Renfrew, it is a rental property that I own. Purchased in 2007. for 195. Not so sorry, it's just a note here. I'm just gonna clarify. I was not able to arrange inspection with the tenant. For reasons unknown, they were unable to accommodate that. It's got one full bathroom, 1.5 bathroom. No renovation on the property other than paint and minor upgrades since purchase until fire in 2022. Built detached garage in 2008, which is a triple garage, which is partially used as storage, and then a single one for the tenant. A fire in 2022 property renovated by insurance company. The flooring was redone because of fire damage. New cabinets in the kitchen, paint, and however the basement wasn't covered by the insurance company, so it was gutted. I insulated it and drywalled it. So those are the only renovations that were done to the property since I purchased it, other than cleaning it up. The insurance company wouldn't cover the thing. Since then, also the air conditioner is not working. And then we have a very busy rail line behind there. She says she's unaware of it, but it is quite busy. There's at least 2 or 3 trains that pass by there. It's a large lot. The lot is 160 feet deep, and you can feel the house shaking from the rail line. Recently, in the last 5 years, they've also built a bunch of silos there, and that is actually a train yard that they use as a dumping grounds for a lot of things and for containers to come in and out. I use comparables for the property, 741 Queenston Street, 755 Waterloo Street, 552 Boardbank Street, 534 Renfrew Street, 599 Campbell Street, and 473 Cordova Street. And so some of these, I just basically took some of the lower ones that were sold in that area. Most of the properties that I looked up, so they all range in the same thing from the 1,100 square feet to the 2,000, no, to 1,000 to 1,100 square feet in that range. They're all built in the same area, same era. They're all pretty much in the same neighborhood. And now, like I said, these range from 340,000 to 405, and 405 is, like I said, I wanted to pick something that was even similar, close to the price that they appraised my property at or assessed it at. Some of these properties have been renovated as well. They're all sold for a lot less than what my appraisal is, and they're all actually better off than some of mine, even with some of the renovations. All these properties that have sold have had some sort of renovation on them. Even though speaking to the assessor before, she says once your property is renovated from 1953, as she put it exactly for Renfrew, then our taxes got to go up. So the only time the property was renovated was when I had a fire. Now you also asked about not inspections, permits taken out. There was permits taken out for the garage. When I did the garage, there was no permits taken out for the fire and that type of thing. The wiring was just exchanged. That's why there was no permits taken out. So the licensed electrician, it was done by the insurance company and the licensed electrician. He says there's no need for, and that's why there's nothing done in the basement. There was no need for electrician. It did get inspected, so there must have been some sort of permits taken out. So I know my wife had to meet the inspector there for something. So there had to have been an inspection of some sort, but there was no panel change. There was no nothing done. Everything was grandfathered in. So as I say, in a certain sense, she's talking about renovations. I believe some of this should have been grandfathered in. I obviously cannot rent a property with burnt cabinets or smoke smells cabinets. The property still has the scent of smoke. In some places, like we cleaned it the best we could and that type of thing. A fresh coat of paint helped a lot. And unfortunately, like I said, the basement's gutted now because I just didn't have the money to renovate the property after that. Because the property sat empty for a year and no rental income. That all came out of my pocket. So.
Okay, anything else, Mr. Santos?
I think off the top of my head, that's it. Like my properties don't even, like I buy fixer uppers. I don't spend too much money on them because I won't be able to afford with the mortgage. And I don't have the money for it. I paint them, I clean them, and I rent them for a reasonable rent in River Heights. And now with my taxes keep going up without the renovations being done, I can't increase my property because my property is not worth that much, and I can't even recoup my taxes. For the last couple of years, until I got after the fire and painted it up and a little bit cleaner, I got a new tenant in there. I finally got a little more rent type thing, but I'm barely covering my rent, my property taxes, my insurance, and my mortgage.
Okay, all right. Understood.
I believe it's I would, if I was to list a property in 2022, I'd put it at 375, but I don't even know if that's be too high.
Okay. Excuse me. Ms. Kilborn, any questions of the applicant's evidence presented?
You said you looked at the sales you provided, or those are, you just say you
I
picked
did
the
look
ones
at
that
some.
were, sorry?
I didn't look at all of them, I looked at a few of them.
Okay, because I did look at some of them, and I feel that a lot of them are quite dated, and on the lower end or estate sales. So I just kind of wanted
And
to
that's what
bring,
my property is.
so I feel that these ones reflect the lower end of values that's, I would say, are not. And then one of them's a private sale, so I don't even know. Like 534 Renfrew is private. And then I feel like the most of these sales are like very dated, original owners, ones that have had no work done at all to them. So they are the lower end of the value. And maybe 473 Cordova has had some type of work done. So that one would be the one that would be most comparable, but it's also smaller. So it's that, I just feel that the sales that are provided, I appreciate you providing sales. I think that that's great. I just feel that they're a little bit probably more dated than your property and then the comparables that I've provided.
Okay,
I don't have any questions about anything else.
Okay.
I
I mean-
mean, that or no?
yes,
So like I said, I did look at them, and like I said, they've all had some sort of renovation done to them. Even the private listing, those were all taken off of what I got from the city of Winnipeg.
Mhm.
And those are all, again, like the same thing. I have the same issues with other properties, searching for other things that I'm not able to look them up.
Mhm.
But I actually did drive by some of these properties. I did do what I was able to do. Sometimes it was late at night. I did the best that I could in the time that I was allowed. So, but my property, that's the thing. My property is dated as well. That's the first thing I was trying to mention to you. My property has had no renovations to it other than when I had the fire. I replaced the cabinets, and the other assessor says, well, you better withdraw your case because you did renovation.
yeah, okay, good. Thank you. Mr. Seelan, any questions of the applicant?
Yes, the rail line, is this a spur or is this a main line?
I believe it's the main line. It connects to Waverly there. So there's, like I said, there's at least a train once a day, if not 2 or 3 times a day, going by there, and it's like quite a long train. Now, and that was one of the reasons they put that train there. Either they go towards Keniston or they go towards Waverly, and that's why they have the underpass there. There's quite a few that go through there. It's the same line that comes right up from that goes over the bridge over the river there. So it's constantly going through. And then right behind me there, like I said, that's kind of a disposal area. They drop off those big trains with oil, and because they put a bunch of silos, they get filled and unfilled constantly there. So there's dump trucks that come and fill it up. There's things. I can't remember the yard. I should have actually marked that down. That's behind there. But they're constantly there. And
Okay.
I'm almost directly behind where it's being worked.
What would you feel as a fair assessment value for this property?
If I was to put it up for sale back then, like I mentioned earlier, I'd probably put it up in 2022, and I put it in the middle of those years. I'd probably put it up for around 375, and I think that's already on the high end.
Okay.
And I'm trying to be fair about this. I've been in the River Heights. I owned properties there for 25 years, so I know my area quite well. So,
And you said you,
I'm sorry.
you said you insulated and drywalled the basement.
Correct.
Okay, but you haven't done the ceiling,
No.
have put in the electrical?
No, well, the electrical was there before the
Yes.
fire and all that kind of stuff. And there was very little insulation in there, so I actually spray foamed it in there. And then by code, well, even though you don't have to take a permit to insulate it, it was spray foam. I prefer spray foam over regular insulation. This way I don't have the vapor barrier and that. So I just drywalled it and then left the ceilings bare. And like I said, the electrical was all there.
You mentioned about smoke, you mentioned about the smell. Do you actually have a renter renting the property currently?
Lately,
Currently,
I'm sorry, I
do
can't.
you have a renter currently?
I do. So
Okay.
after the renovation took almost a year to complete. It's just issues with the insurance company, and it was just a long process. I had someone move in there for a year type thing, and then unfortunately I had to ask them to leave. I didn't renew their lease, and now I got someone in there again in March. Some new tenants just moved there in March, and I think they're quite happy with it. They understand the basement's not finished and that type of thing, so it's just the upstairs they're renting. So.
Thank you. That's all my questions. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Seelan. Mr. Marks, any questions of the applicant?
What kind of value would you put on your garage?
My garage right now, well, it cost me when I built it myself.
Right.
It cost me back then about $40,000. So right now, I don't know what it would cost to build it right now, so I'm not sure.
So on your comparables, you're going from 390 to 405.
No, I believe actually there's 340 there. That's 340. There's a 390, 395. I put the higher end ones there just to I show
Okay,
up
so
with things.
you're running around the $400,000 mark on your comparables. So why are you going at 375 for yours?
Well, I got two of them there. They're at 340, one at 379. So I also put some other ones there, the ones that have been a little more renovated as well, at a little higher. I put mine at 375.
Okay, your house has been pretty much renovated top to bottom due to the fire.
Well, other than the electrical was replaced on the upstairs and the kitchen cabinets.
It has
And it
been
was painted.
replaced, correct?
I'm sorry, what has been
The
replaced?
electrical has been replaced.
Not in the lower level, not the panel, just the wiring.
That's
The wiring and the lighting on the
okay.
main floor.
So the electrical has been replaced on the main floor.
Correct.
Okay, so that's an upgrade, like it or not, it's an upgrade.
If you want to consider that type of thing, like in the permit situation, it was considered a grandfathered in because it had to be replaced. Obviously, I couldn't change it because there was a fire, right?
Understood. Okay, and you think that your place would be around 375, that's an assessed value?
If the place is right now, and the way it is right now, if I was to put it up for sale in 2022, I believe I'd probably put it up for sale for 375.
Thank you, no further questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Marks. Mr. Santos. Do you have a value for the fire insurance claim?
I'm sorry?
You have a value that the insurance company spent repairing that fire?
They had assessed it at $90,000.
They
$40,000 of that was just for the original cleanup.
Okay, so they spent $90,000
$1,000.
cleaning up and repairing existing.
Removing the smoke damage, just cleaning. You know, it was kind of funny. They kind of protected all the floors while they're cleaning it, and then after they removed all that stuff, they refinished the floors.
Okay, thank you. They're hardwood floors, I guess. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Location, where are you located? Between Court and Grant?
I'm between Grant and Mathers.
Okay, south end there. All
So
right.
I'm a couple houses from, I think 2 or 3 houses from Mathers, and that's where the silos and everything. Actually, you've probably heard about people complaining about silos being directly in front of the links. That's directly behind me, where there's constant action being done there.
So you're down by Taylor?
No, I'm
Further.
almost
Yeah, okay. Now I'm gonna.
Grant and Mathers.
Yeah, perfect. I'm gonna look at your 6 comparables. Four of them occurred in 2021 and two of them in 2022. The reference date we're looking at is 2023. And you keep on referring to putting your house up for sale in 2022.
Isn't
I
our comparables for 2022? I put it in the middle because 21 to 23, I believe, is not what we're supposed to go by.
Nope, 2023. But anyway, any time adjustments done to those sales at all to reflect 2023 sale date?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
Would you agree that market value have gone up in Winnipeg from 2021 to 2023? So you're showing us 2021 sales, and you haven't, correct me if I'm wrong, but you haven't done any time adjustments to reflect how the increase in the market in Winnipeg up to 2023. Would that be
I
accurate?
believe I have. I'm showing for 340,000, a couple of 379, and I said 375 for my property.
Okay, no, but I'm asking you for your evidence.
Yeah.
If you do an analysis of how much was sold for per square foot in 2021, and then adjust for how much the market has increased, you haven't done that in the evidence you've presented. Is that correct?
No, I believe I have it. That's what I'm saying. So if you're saying 2021,
Mhm.
340, and I was told that you're supposed to do the market analysis between 2021 and 2023, April of 2021 to April of 2023, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Okay. So those are the ones comparable in that area. Like some of the ones this young lady let me know was 2023. So I went down the middle in 2022 just to have a range, and that's why I put 375. If I thought for 2021 I'd go 340, I'd say my house would be listed at 340.
If you look at the assessor's brief, she or the assessor lists a selling price in a certain year, and then they do it a time adjusted selling price reflecting how the market has increased. My question, you have not done that in your evidence.
Okay, I was not aware, like the time adjustment, I believe, I assumed that was what the house was listed for and what the house sold for because of multiple offers, not a time adjustment. That is what the house sold for after multiple offers or after it's sold. Sometimes a time adjustment actually goes lower.
Okay, I'll simplify it here. Do you believe a house that's sold in 2021? I'm not sure. You don't list the month. Could be January, it could be December. You don't list the month. That it would sell in 2023 for the same amount as in 2021 that you're showing there.
It could, or it could sell for less. If there was things that happened to it, if I bought the house for 2021, just like the gentleman before on Home Street that bought his house and there's a fire damage to it, or there was some water damage to it, or now they realize that there's a silos built behind the house, so now it might be adjusted to even lower. And I believe I adjusted to that by saying otherwise I would have put the house at 2021 at 340. But I put it at 2022 at 375, and even 2023. I just put the year in the middle.
So those aren't actual selling prices. Those are
actual selling. That came from the city of Winnipeg.
okay.
Those
So
are on the city of Winnipeg, the same thing they listed me. That's what we went through. These paperwork that my wife printed off.
Yeah. Okay.
These that printed off, these are the ones here. They're actually on the city's assessment. Sales data by the city of Winnipeg.
I'll ask you one more time. In your evidence, in your opinion, market values in Winnipeg and River Heights did not go up between 2021 and 2023 in River Heights.
They've gone up over and over every year.
Okay, thank you.
And they've also gone down.
Okay. All right, I believe that's all my questions. Ms. Kilborn, any requirement for a summary?
Just to summarize, I feel the sales that I've provided are more reflective of the condition of the property and support the value of our assessment of $438,000.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Santos, any requirement for summary?
I feel the same way. I believe I'm actually closer to my property. My property is still dated, even though you're saying it's painted. But those regards do not reflect, as I read it here in your statement, paint, flooring, regular carpet, roofing, windows do not represent the evaluation of the house.
Okay,
I think I was being pretty fair at listing at 375.
all right, okay. Thank you for that presentation. That concludes 772 Renfrew Street. We shall do one more, item number 8 on the docket, file number 25-317, roll number 12072809,000. Address is 374 Carpathia Road. And we're dealing with a 2026 Realty Assessment Appeal. Bear with us 1 second, please. Okay. All right. Ms. Kilborn, when you're ready, please.
Okay.
374 Carpathia Road.
Okay, so this is for 374 Carpathia Road, roll number 12072809000. The property is located in the Sir John Franklin neighborhood. It is a one-story single-family dwelling built in 1953. It is 1,119 square feet with an unfinished basement. It has 1 bathroom and a detached garage. The lot size is 6,339 square feet. The comparable properties are 203 Centennial Street, 667 Centennial Street, 618 Lanark Street, and 214 Lockwood Street. They are all one-story single-family dwellings with effective ages between 1951 and 1963. The square footages range from 1,047 square feet to 1,311 square feet. The comparables all have some finished basement area. They all have 2 baths, except for 618 Lanark has 3. They all have central air conditioning, and they all have detached garages, except for 667 Centennial does not. The lot sizes range from 4,586 square feet to 6,598 square feet. There's a school influence for 618 Lanark Street, and 214 Lockwood has a corner and traffic influence. The time adjusted prices range from $341,800 to $434,600. The subject property is at the low end of the comparables at $311,000. And I believe that these comparables support our value of $311,000. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kilborn. Mr. Santos, any questions of the assessor's evidence presented?
Now, how did you review these? Have you had any knowledge? Have you reviewed any of these MLS listings that were sold?
Yes, I looked at the ML listings and tried to find properties that were dated. I feel that most of them are dated. I would say 667 Centennial did have the kitchen and bathroom updated, so that would be on the higher end. But the comparables for the most part have been maintained and are in like more of a dated condition. And I believe
So
that
you say they're dated?
I say most of them are dated, maintained but dated. 667 has had the kitchen and bathroom updated, and the subject property is at the very low end of these sales. So I feel that these sales are good sales for the subject property and show that they're higher than what we have property assessed at.
So if you don't mean, you obviously didn't read it very, because 667 Centennial is pictures actually show everything completely done. So if you actually said like you looked at them, you'd notice that it says completely renovated.
Yeah, I said the kitchen and the
Completely
bathroom
renovated.
have been renovated.
Well, that's not dated.
No, I said
You've been ready on the
67
cabinet.
had the kitchen
That's
and
not
bathroom
dated.
updated.
Okay, there's no question. So obviously you didn't really research it.
Well, I just said that the kitchen and the bathroom have
Okay.
been updated on 667 Centennial,
Okay.
and that's the higher end one.
At 347, the higher end one.
Sorry? It's
That's the
smaller
higher
than
end
your
one,
subject
3/4. Oh,
property.
actually, it isn't. I did the
It
two.
is smaller, so the
Yeah.
price per square foot is significantly.
That's the lowest end one, actually, 347. Pictures show, and it says completely renovated. So
Mhm.
that's the lower end one. So I don't know how it would sell for 431 or 461, and it's dated. Okay, there's no questions because you obviously didn't research it.
Mr. Santos,
Yeah,
please do not interrupt the assessor when she's presenting her evidence and do not ask questions while she's presenting. Give her
okay.
you need
I'm
to answer.
asking for it. I'm bad for that, sorry.
Yes, okay, we'd appreciate it. You know, we can't hear what she's answering.
She wasn't answering though.
In your opinion, we don't hear your question, we don't hear her response. Can we just ask the question, allow her to answer? If you have a comment, make it a relevant comment, and we'll move along here smoothly. Any other questions of her evidence presented? Thank you. Mr. Santos, any?
No, because she doesn't have any evidence that I can see, so.
Okay, you can make those comments when it's your turn to present. It's not necessary while you're questioning her, to be fair to the assessor and the panel members, because we're not hearing all the evidence being presented the way you're questioning her. So I'd appreciate it if you would just let her answer and we'll move along here slowly, okay? If you have any comments on her evidence, make it when it's your turn to present. Thank you. Okay, so you have no other questions? Mr. Marks, any questions of the assessor?
Yes, were there any building permits taken out on this property?
On the subject property, I don't believe so.
Okay. And that's detached garage, is that a newer build or an older build?
Older. I have it as original from 1953.
Okay. No further questions, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marks. Mr. Seelan, any questions?
You're muted.
Kent, you are muted.
Sorry, Mr. Chair. When I look at the sales information during the reference period, I noticed the sale price and the time adjusted sales price to be lower.
Mhm.
Was there a drop in the market across the entire market at this time during the reference period?
In like it ranges from area to area, but in the mid to late 2021, 2022, it shows that sales were higher than what they would have sold for in 2023. So the ones that go down would reflect based on when they were purchased that. So there is two time trends in this reference period. Values increasing, or some of them show that as of 2023, the value would probably be a little bit lower, depending when they were purchased.
Okay, thank you. That's all my questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Seelan, and I have no questions of the assessor. Mr. Santos, bear with us 1 second while we pull up your brief, please.
May I just ask one more question, actually? Just, I don't know if I can ask to all you or
Of course.
use about this time assessment thing. So how does that exactly, maybe the assessor can explain that to me? From
So
my
the
understanding-
reference date is April 1st, 2023. So all the sales take place prior to that date, depending on when the purchase prices or the purchase date was. It's time adjusted to reflect what the sale would be as of April 1st, 2023. So if it's sold in 2022 or 2021, it's time adjusted to be what it would be reflected on April 2023.
So that's the actual sale, like when you're listed here, because some of these.
So some of them would
price-
show, yeah, so if they
Oh.
were bought in the first one, April or 203 Centennial, sold in May of 2022. So it's showing that the sale in May 2022, what it would be as of April 1st would be a little bit lower than what the purchase price was. And then actually all of the sales in this one show that other properties and other neighborhoods and other dates would show that it would be higher. So it's just based on when the purchase was made. This time period from April 2021 to April 2023 shows an increase and then a slight decrease in some areas based on when they were purchased.
Okay, I was under the assumption that that was a sale price and that was the price that the house sold for after
Yeah, the
multiple
sale
offers
price-
or after not having offers. Is that
The
how you
sale-
get your time adjustment?
No, the sale price is the first value, and then the time adjusted sale price is what it would sell as of April 1st of 2023.
Because
The
some of
reference
these that
date.
you showed here, the price was not what the listing price that I found for it. And then,
So
so
the
I
sale
assumed
price
the
is-
time adjusted price was what it actually sold at multiple offers, so I was just mistaken. by
No,
stuff.
yeah, no, that's
Okay.
not what, yeah.
Does that answer your question, Mr. Santos?
Yes, I just was confused about this time adjusting thing as you
Sure.
asked me earlier, and I just did not know how to answer that properly, so.
Okay, could I ask you to proceed with your evidence, Mr. Santos, 772 Andrew?
No, we're at Carpathia.
On Prairie, Carpathia,
Yes.
374 Carpathia, I apologize.
374 Carpathia, so 374 Carpathia Road, again, it's a rental property. Property, so when did I have it here, my property purchased in 1999 for $80,000. Property has had no renovations since the property's been purchased whatsoever. I lived there for 1 year before I moved out in with my wife at the moment. The tenant's been there for 26 years since the purchase of it, or 99 till 2000. He's been there 25 years now. Same tenant, same property as I purchased it in 1980. The property has major foundation problems. Due for the basement's actually unusable almost right now because he gets water down there all the time. The weeping tiles need to be repaired. Either way, he's been there. He's single now. His kids have all moved out. He's got no one there. He's kind of somewhat of a hoarder. The basement's unusable due to water. Property has been not renovated since it was built in 1953, aside from painting when the tenant moved in 25 years ago. Only one full bathroom. So. Okay, so this to do with the evaluation officer. The property is there. So even for the property, the foundation, when I found out it's almost $50,000 to repair to redo the whole weepy tiles, take all the way around there. The garage which was brought up, a single garage, is not even functioning right now. It has no roof on it, but it's there. The yard is overgrown with trees and weeds and that type of thing. Unfortunately, the tenant doesn't take care of it. I have not been able to take care of it this summer. In the condition. Like I said, there's been no new windows. The only thing that's been done there was about 10 years ago. I replaced the roof because it had to be replaced. That's the only thing that's been done there. No windows, no doors, no appliances, no hot water tank. It's actually still electric hot water tank. It's been there for 40 years. Furnace, the same thing, been there for 40 years. Since I purchased the house. Before that, as I said. So my comparos that I put on there was 886 Lindsay Street, 906 Lindsay Street. And again, some of these properties, because there's really nothing in that area that's sold between 2021 and 2023 that is comparable to this property. But I just thought I should list something. These are all higher. 450 Queenston, 772 Centennial, 260 Lindsay, and 353 Lanark. And the reason I listed 353 Lanark is a property that I actually owned and completely renovated and sold for $320. Completely renovated. $100,000 worth of renovations and sold it. So this is pretty basic, pretty straightforward. You know, and again, I'm being fair. In 2022, I would list the property for $290 if I was to sell it. And even if for time adjustments at 2023, I probably actually I overlisted it. I'd probably have to go down to 275 to 280. So I don't know what to say about this property. This property is pretty straightforward. There's been absolutely no renovations on this property since 1953 when it was built. I'm not mistaken, that's when it was built. And it's the way it is. One of the things by the assessors, the officer that she mentioned, once you have some renovations, then our taxes go up. So my property was purchased for $80,000 in 1999. There's been absolutely no renovation to it. If anything, I have foundation cracks now from the semis and the buses driving down Corden, because I'm 2 properties over. And on Route 90, the house, actually, you can feel it shaking. I'm the second house from the property. So heavy traffic influence. I have a school down the street as well. Things are not looking good there for Carpathia, but the tenant's there. He's been there 25 years. He pays cheap rent, and it's the way it is. But by my tax keep increasing, I cannot do much. Like when I increased the tax 10 years ago to rent to him, he says, "Carlos, I paid for your property almost a couple times." I said, "But you know what? What you've paid for doesn't even cover my taxes. I've paid since owning this property." For 25 years, I paid over $90,000 in taxes, more than what I paid for the property. And that's all I can provide at the moment.
Okay,
And
thank
I will mention one more thing as well. There was asked to be inspected. I tried to set up the inspection with the tenant, but again, I was unable to. I left him a couple messages. I don't know if the lady showed up there or not. I tried to cancel it, but I was not given much time. I was given 2 days for inspection, and I was not able to get a hold of tenants, and they were not able. I was not able to take time off work to go there and sit with a. This is one property I was able to, and the tenant was not available. So.
Okay,
I'm happy to send someone in there, but I'm not able to send.
Yeah.
This property would show very well how dated it is.
okay. Ms. Kilborn, any questions of the applicant's evidence?
I did look at all the sales that were provided. Again, I appreciate you providing sales of properties. And I mean, looking at them, a lot of them are dated too. And I mean, that's good. I feel like these sales also support our value of 311. If you look at it price per square foot, you're still at the low end at 277. These sales are all in the the 300, 303, 317. 316. So even these are dated sales. I know you said you mentioned 353 Lanark. That's updated. It also has no basement. So I mean, that has to take into consideration too. And it's smaller than your property. So like there's other things that get taken into consideration with value. But I do think that these sales also support our value of 311. We're at the very low end, and we don't have any record of any type of renovations on your property for 374 Carpathia. But I do think that all of these comparables somewhat support my comparables and yours, the 311. And that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Marks, any questions of the applicant?
Yes, what value would you put on this property?
I'd probably maybe 275, and it's basically lot value right now. You put it on there because this house, either if I was to put it up for sale, it'd be a tear down because of all the extensive renovations to be done to it. Nothing, like I said, nothing's been done to it since the property was purchased. Major foundation properties, problems, water in the basement, and like I said, there's the only, it was 25 years ago it was painted. That's it. It's still got the windows with the little circles in there. It's nothing's been done to the property.
Okay.
And the only reason I put some comparables on here because there's really nothing like that. It's one of those handyman special, so it's hard to say. But I'd be in that range of 275.
275 to.
I think that's already high, so we'll see. It's what market's willing to bear at the time, right? It's who.
And the basement isn't usable at this
It
point?
isn't usable. It is usable. He has a washer dryer down there. The furnace is down there. The hot water tank's down there, but he doesn't use it for anything because it's like I said, he gets water down there and that type of thing. So.
And what sort of value would you put on repairing the basement?
Well, just to do the foundation area, because I got a quote on that type thing for them to dig all the way around it and just do the weeping tiles and waterproof it was $50,000. And then to renovate the basement completely, it'd probably be another $50,000, if not more. And then like the house would probably be, like I said, it all depends whether you want to be a tear down or go spend a bunch of money in there and completely redo the house.
Okay, no further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Marks. Mr. Seelan, any questions?
My questions have been asked and answered, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Actually, my question is to the assessor. Ms. Kilborn, you just did a quick analysis of the applicant's evidence presented on the sales. What was your conclusion of the average selling price per square foot?
Well, the range the range is from about 258, that's the low, and 258, but most of them are 301, 303, 317, 316. So in the $300 range. I want to just point out that the 777 Centennial and 906 Lindsay were both extremely dated and sold and then renovated. So I mean, those are two sales that are extremely dated ones that then got totally renovated and listed again. So those are good
Okay,
in that situation.
yeah, okay. Mr. Santos, I guess even though we're not doing the income approach to value, could I ask you what the rent is on this property?
The rent right now is $1,500.
1,500 plus utilities they pay?
Correct.
Okay,
And he 25 years ago when he moved in, he was paying $1,050.
yeah, okay, so right now it's 1,500, okay.
Yeah. And most of the other properties that I would have, nothing rents for in River Heights for under $2,000 almost.
Okay. Okay, thank you. That's my only question.
Okay.
Ms. Kilborn, requirement for summary?
No, I feel like I've stated my position. Thank you.
Santos?
The only summary type thing is just going back to those that I posted as reviews. A lot of those, like I said, were already updated. They had some things done to them. Even the two that she said that were dated, they had some renovation. They have air conditioning. They have garage. They have a lot of other things. But I had no other comparables to Carpathia. That's why I added those in there. So I almost shouldn't have added in there if it's going against me. So
Okay. Thank you. Mrs. Harland, we are going to take a recess for 10 minutes, please.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'll go take us offline.
Thank you very much.
I will have a walk and just go put on my car.
You go right ahead.
I can just leave everything here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Harland. Excuse me. Next item, I'll now call the hearing back to order. Next item is item number 9, file number 25-319, roll number 01003740-500. Address is 5660 Rannoch Avenue, and we're dealing with a 2026 Realty Assessment Appeal. Ms. Kilborn, when you are ready, please.
Okay.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman. May I just request that I stand for a little while? So I have a little bit of a sciatic problem and I have to go back to work and it's kind of really irritates sitting down.
Of course, yes,
Oh,
no problem.
thank you.
Okay. Ms. Kilborn, when you're ready, please.
Okay, so this is for 5660 Rannoch Avenue, 01003740-500. The property is located in the Bettsworth neighborhood. It is a one-story single-family dwelling built in 1970. It is 1,578 square feet, with a finished basement. It has 3 bathrooms, air conditioning, a fireplace, and 2 detached garages. There is a bus and traffic influence. The comparable properties are 763 Municipal Road, 5661 Betsworth Avenue, 47 Miramar Road, and 34 Malone Street. They're all one-story single-family dwellings built between 1970 and 1976. The square footages range from 1,287 square feet to 1,534 square feet. The comparables all have finished basements except for 47 Miramar Road. They all have 3 bathrooms, except for 47 Miramar has 2. They all have air conditioning, and they all have attached garages, except for 5661 Betsworth is a detached garage. The lot sizes range from 7,949 square feet to 15,543 square feet. And there's a traffic influence for 5661 Betsworth. And the time adjusted prices range from 447,400 to 487,000. The subject property is at 472,000, and I believe that these comparables support this value being maintained.
Thank you, Ms. Kilborn. Mr. Santos, any questions of the assessor's evidence presented?
I will ask again, have you had a chance to drive by any of these properties or actually see the listings or see pictures or anything of these properties?
Yes, I did not drive past any of these properties, but I looked at the listings online. Yes.
Online, with pictures or without pictures?
Yes. Yes, with pictures.
With pictures. And they all reflect the same item. Unfortunately, I was not able to provide you pictures, but they all reflect what you think. Sorry, I'll ask a different one. Were you able to drive by Rannick
I did not drive past any property, no.
or look at previous listing when it was sold?
Of the subject property?
Correct.
No, I did not drive past or look at that. An inspection was requested again, and it wasn't, we didn't get to do that. So I have not done an inspection of the property.
But no other property was inspected as well?
No, we don't normally do inspections of comparable properties. We can't get inspections for those.
No
We can just look online. Sorry?
Okay, no drive-by as well?
Of the comparable properties?
Correct.
No, I did not drive past any property. I saw the MLS listings online.
Okay. That's it for questions for me.
Thank you, Mr. Santos. Mr. Marks, any questions of the assessor?
Yes, have there been any building permits taken out on the subject property?
On the subject property, there was just a permit for the garage, I believe. There's no other permits, no recent permits anyways.
And when was the garage permit taken out?
Sorry, I have it written down somewhere. There's 2 garages, so one of them, just give me 1 second. I don't have the year. Actually, one of them was 2011. I don't know what the other one.
Were there any sizes attached to those?
Yes, so one of them is 600 square feet and the other one is 720 square feet, so quite large.
And no other permits taken out on that?
No, not that I can see. No, not anything
Okay,
recent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Seelan, any questions of the assessor? Kent, you are muted.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There's a bus route here. Is this a major bus route or is this just a feeder?
I do not know what bus runs down here. I just know that we have a influence for it. It doesn't really change our value, but it's just reflected here that the bus does go go down this street. I don't know which one or how common it comes or how often it comes down.
Okay, thank you. That's all my
Thank you.
questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. My only question, Ms. Kilborn, is I don't know if you can answer this, maybe the property owner can better. With the recent renewal of bus routes in the city, is this still a bus route? To
It
your,
is a bus route and it actually is busier. There is a school, Oak Park, at the end of Rennick, which
okay,
has increased it.
so they haven't removed this route?
No,
it's-
they haven't. They've
Okay.
actually just increased it,
Yeah, that's fine.
traffic flow.
Thank you. Okay, that's my only question.
Thank you.
Mr. Santos, let us find your evidence, please. 5660 Rannoch Avenue. Mr. Santos, when you're ready, please.
So I will start off by, I had difficulty finding anything in that area comparable by the city specs that I was sent to, or the online that I have. As my wife wrote down here, no sale available. I did put the bus traffic heavy, the influence there, everything. So now I will just simply, the property was purchased in 2010 for $265. No major upgrades on the property aside from insulating the basement and built a detached garage. So she's mistaken by two garages. The other permit for the garage was for the tear down of the garage to build the other garage, the newer garage that was built in 2010. So there is no fireplace no longer there. It was a gas fireplace. The air conditioning is still working on and off type thing, but the tenant will have to wait till next year to see if we can do something with it. It is a higher traffic area with the new development behind there as well. There's a brand new development right behind Scottsdale, which there was never there before. I was all forest and vacant land behind there. Now there's no longer forest and there's a huge development there. Actually, Kyle Connor lives right behind me now, apparently. But my house is not compared to his house, even though he's 3 houses away. It's a brand new house. So I put some of these properties here as comparison. There really was nothing else that I can compare in this area. I put 70 J Moore Drive, which is a fantastic area to live in. It's one of the wealthiest areas. Again, a little dated as well. 4,317 Robin Boulevard, 61 Miramar Road, 773 Pepperloaf, which is actually just down the street, not far away from me, and 3 Subway Crescent, which I'm not aware where it is at the moment. And I'd like to, I put 6424 Robin Boulevard on here, just so I can be fair. I don't know why I put so many properties. I should just list them lower at 425. So all these properties range from 1,500 square feet to all the way to 1,600 square feet. They all have large lots as well, or not all of them, but most of them have large lots. And looks like most of them were sold in 2021 and 2022. So I'm also going to mention that the property was a grow-up property. So, and that's when part of the renovation was done with the basement being insulated, because I had to gut the whole house. So again, the basement was insulated and painted and cleaned up. So that was basically all the renovations onto the property and the new garage. So I'd like to mention that some of these properties that I buy, most of them, it was a grow up after I purchased it. These properties are most of all fixer-uppers. A lot of times I don't overly fix them. I do the things, I make them repairable, make them doable to rent the properties. So most of that entitles either refinishing the floors. Sometimes, most of the time, I just rip out the carpet and just leave the hardwood floors that are underneath it and paint the property, and then I rent it. So again, the property was purchased for $265 in 2010, and I'm gonna kind of leave it at that. I had a hard time finding comparables to it. And the ones that I did are quite a bit lower. And I feel that most of these support my, I would list the property at $400,000, and I think that's being a little bit high end for me too. Again, I tried to be fair. Unlike, well,
Okay, thank you, Mr. Santos. Ms. Kilborn, any questions of the applicant?
Yeah, like the one about the garages, I can see on the like street view of your property, there's two building structures in the back. So
That
is
garage is to be torn down, so that's why the permit's not closed.
so
So
it's
the only reason the city has allowed me is because I have to empty it and I'm still working, so.
so there are the two garages on your property.
Correct, but, and
You
this
said there was
permit is
one.
for a
Okay.
tear down. That
Uh,
garage is to be torn down.
to be, so it has not been torn down.
No, it hasn't. The tenant is using the other garage and I got storage in that one right now. So when I finish it, when I finish my season of work, I'm a seasonal worker, it will be torn down.
Okay, so at this moment, there still are those two garages.
At this
Okay,
moment, there is, but it is
Okay.
a tear down. I've just been lucky that the city has allowed me to leave it for the remaining of the year.
okay. Okay, and I did look at the sales that you also provided, so I appreciate the sales. I do feel that some of them are like would be in below, like in worse condition than yours, like the one on 61 Miramar says right on it that there's a visible foundation crack. Then there's another one on the 773 Pepperloaf shows that it's being sold as is, a huge crack in the ceiling. So those ones, to me, the pipes have been broke over the winter. So in my opinion, those would not be reflective of the condition of your property. And the comparables that I have would be more reflective of a property that has been maintained throughout the years. And I know you said there was some work done. It was a grow up, but it has been remediated, correct?
It is, but I do still have to list it as a grow up when I sell the property.
Okay. Yeah, the comparables, most of them that you have, I would say would be in below the condition of this property, of your property. But again, I appreciate you providing sales and I don't have any other questions.
Thank you, Ms. Kilborn. Mr. Seelan, any questions of the applicant?
Yes, what do you think would be a reasonable assessment value for your property?
Not to underbid it, but if I was to, even right now, in 2025, if I was to put it up for sale, I think 400 would be kind of fair. So even going back to 20, I listed as my evidence in 400,000 for 2022. Right now, I'd probably have a hard time listing it. I'd probably get a little bit more, maybe. But in 2022, 2023, I'd probably list it at 375.
Okay, thank you. That's all my questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Seelan. Mr. Marks, any questions of the applicant?
Yes, the garage that was built, is that the 720 square foot?
It is 24 by 30. So what would that be? 24 by, that's the 640.
Okay. And what was the value on that garage when it was built?
I built it myself, so I probably $20,000 cost me to build it.
And the other one will be coming down when you can get to it.
I'm hopefully that this winter I can get to it. Well, I finished my season, usually finishes around November, so.
Okay. And
again, weather providing, like last year we got a bunch of snow and it was kind of hard to get there.
Okay. No further questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Marks. Mr. Santos, can you tell me the dimensions of your building lot, please?
I believe the lot is 200 by 100, if I'm not mistaken, or close by 90 something by almost 200.
So 100 wide or 200 wide?
It's 100 deep, almost, I think 98, 99, and 200, or the other way around. Sorry. Yeah, it'd be 100 wide, because that's why they put the restrictions that you can't subdivide. You have to have 55 in Charleswood, so, and 200 deep, almost like 190 something and 90 something wide, 99, 198.
Okay. The current, I'm interested in this grow up stipulation that you had. Was that the situation when you purchased the property?
No, I had a tenant in there after I purchased the property. I purchased the property because it was under needed quite a bit of renovations to the property. And I didn't have time to renovate it. I rented it for cheap to someone that unfortunately that I kind of knew. I thought I knew. And 6 months later, I didn't even know. The police didn't even inform me. I went there to check on the property, and the back door was broken in, and everything was turned upside down. There was still residue of blow-up stuff there.
Okay,
So unaware of any of that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
that happened within a year of me purchasing the house.
okay. Now, what did you have to do to remediate that? How does that work?
Because it was in the basement, so I had to gut the whole basement, basically, and I had to do it with because they had turned off the furnace, so it was in the middle of winter, so I had to get generators, and I had no heat there and that type of thing. And upstairs, I had to get, I guess, he was venting through the attic, so I had to clean up part of the attic, and I had to have the whole attic, just the attic walls, scraped out and sanded. The basement was completely gutted. And the main floor, I didn't really have any issues with it. So it was just painted and cleaned up. But I had issues with the attic, which I re-blew in insulation after because I believe I had to have it all vacuumed out. But like I said, I did most of the remediation myself, and then I had to have it inspected. I had to have a negative air cleaner there done, and that I know just that part. I did almost all the cleaning myself, but I still had to have environmental someone come in there and do all the paperwork, and that cost me $3,000 just for that.
Yeah,
I did all the work myself, and then so I gutted the basements, had it all cleaned out. I had to have the air in there before I can have the furnace turned back on and the power turned back on because the fire department and whoever went there, they shut everything off. Because they shut the electrical off because they weren't sure if he was stealing hydro, which he wasn't. So he was just
okay. So is it a smell problem or is it a moisture problem or is it both?
it was a moisture problem.
Okay,
I guess it was happening during the winter, or I bought it middle. It I can't be exactly. It was quite a few years ago, but I
yeah,
know I was working gutting the place in the winter time, so I had no heat there. So, but it also took me some time to be able to be allowed in the property after I found out and had to go through the whole police thing and find out the whole circumstances, even try and get a hold of where this guy was and that type of thing. And so it took me a few months for that whole thing. So the basement, there was mold in the basement, quite a bit of mold. That's why it was completely gutted. And then I got into the concrete walls and I scrubbed it. There was a ceiling at the time in the basement, so there was luckily no mold got above that. And like I said, the main floor was in decent condition. He wasn't basically using the main floor. He was just using one of the side rooms. There was back in the day an addition put on the house, and that's where he was sleeping and that type of thing. The rest of the house was basically vacant. And then the attic, because he was venting through the attic, and I guess through one of the vents it wasn't venting properly, so there was a big ice dam up there. And again, that's what all had to be cleaned up. So, and luckily, the ice dam, I was able to clean it up in the wintertime because there was no heat, so it didn't dissipate into everything. So,
okay,
but I
yeah,
know I had to scrape all the ceiling joists and all that kind of stuff in there because there was a little bit of mold in there. And
okay. Yeah, understood. And I guess you're legally required to declare that if you were to.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Okay, yeah, thanks. I haven't dealt with this recently, so thanks for explaining that. All right. I think that's all my questions. Ms. Kilborn, any requirement for summary?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Santos, any requirement for summary?
I will just summarize by mentioning because I didn't really kind of respond to Ms. Claiborne's her comparables. Her comparables, again, they've all been quite intensively upgraded. That's why some of those prices are so high. And again, I don't think she can really comment too much on those comparables because she didn't really see them. So
Okay, thank you. Okay, that concludes 5660 Rannoch Avenue. Next item on the docket is item number 10. File number 25-320, roll number 01000581-300. Address is 39 Kings Head Close.
Okay.
And we are dealing with a excuse me, 2026 Realty Assessment Appeal. Miss Kilborn, when you are ready, please.
Sure. So this is 39 Kings Head Close, roll number 0100058130. The property is located in the Vialou neighborhood. It's a 2-story single-family dwelling built in 1971. It's 2,081 square feet with a finished basement. It has 4 bathrooms, air conditioning, fireplace, an attached garage, and an in-ground pool. The comparables are 10 Monarch Mews, 34 Monarch Mews, 7 Shenfield Road, and 22 Saunders Bay. They are all 2 stories with effective ages between 1978 and 1994. The square footages range from 1,933 square feet to 2,272 square feet. They all have finished basements except for 22 Saunders does not. They all have 4 bathrooms except for 22 Saunders has 3. They have fireplaces and central air conditioning, and they all have attached garages. 10 Monarch Mews has a pool and 34 Monarch Mews has a sunroom. The lot sizes range from 8,066 square feet to 10,038 square feet. The time adjusted prices range from $568,400 to $661,700. The subject property is at the lower end at $550,000. Again, I was not the assessor that spoke to the homeowner, but there was a conversation that was had, and there was renovations done to this property back in it would probably be in 10 or 12 to 15 years ago, roughly, but our records do not show this. And so it was stated that the flooring, kitchen, bathrooms were redone. And I believe that our value of 550 is on the low end and is more than reasonable based on these comparables and should be maintained.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Kilborn. Mr.
Thank you.
Sam, any questions of the assessor's evidence?
Again, did you have a chance to drive by or look at some of these other properties that you're comparing them to?
I did not drive by, just saw the properties on the listings that were on MLS.
And I will ask, you find that these are comparable to my property, even though none of them are in my area. They're all on river.
2 of them are in your area. The Monarch Mews ones are in your direct neighborhood. And then the Ridgedale ones are in
Facing the river by any chance? Sorry.
I'm sorry?
Sorry, go ahead. I shouldn't
interrupt. The comparables 1 and 2 are in your direct neighborhood. The other 2 comparables are in a very comparable neighborhood that's on a bay type street on the same type of it would be the same type of area as 39 Kings Head Close. So they're all very comparable to your property. Comparables 1 and 2 are in your exact neighborhood.
So why was there no request for an inspection or for?
I wasn't speaking to either it was you or your wife. I don't know. An inspection should be done as I feel that our property value doesn't reflect renovations that were done back when 10, 12 years ago, 15 years ago, roughly.
So I'm not sure why you're speaking about renovations when you actually were given misinformation. So what information were you given about these renovations? So you're completely wrong.
The kitchen and the flooring and the bathrooms were redone roughly 12 to 15 years ago. There was a second floor addition that was put in. And around that time, I guess, is when I believe around that time or sometime a little bit after or before, I don't know. But that the flooring and the kitchen and the bathrooms and stuff were like that main floor was redone.
So
between 12 and 15 years ago. That was what the previous assessor spoke. Possibly it was with the other owner of the property, but that was discussed prior to this hearing.
So I'm going to ask the question again. So obviously there's no inspection, so you wouldn't know about it. But the previous assessor that spoke to you also was told, so you only marked down the wrong, was told that there is no finished basement. There is no central air. There is no in-ground pool.
Well, there was
it's not a full
there was discussed that the air conditioning isn't
So
working.
why
It's
was that
still
not brought up?
there.
Why
So
is it still
if
put it on the listing?
Okay, so there was a discussion that the air conditioning isn't working. It's still there. So, I mean, if it's there, then it's there. There was a discussion about the pool liner needing to be replaced. So the pool is there. The liner may need to be replaced. But our record, this value
How about
doesn't
the
reflect.
basement?
Sorry? I'm sorry?
How about the basement? You mentioned the basement.
I don't know about the basement, but if the
So the basement's not finished, and second of all,
Okay.
it's not a full basement.
Well,
So that was brought up.
Yeah, but the percentage of the area of the basement we have is just a percentage. Like it's the area of the basement, not the full area of the house. But regardless of, there could be some issues, like maybe the basement is unfinished, but we don't have any reflection of any type of upgrades done. So even without, even our value is low because of the fact that there's no account for upgrades that were done. So even if I was to take off the finished basement, if that's the case, if it's unfinished, but an inspection would probably need to be
It's
done.
also not full.
But there is the value
Maybe
is
there
still
should have
low.
been.
Well, the
believe there should
basement
have been-
area would be the original area of the house. So I mean, if there was an addition put on second floor, it's just the area of the basement area. Like I can tell you what the basement area is, but it's just that it's not fully finished. It's roughly 60% being finished.
No, I'm saying there's not a
But
full
if
basement.
the basement is
Not a-
unfinished, that is something that can be adjusted if we have an inspection done. But what I'm saying is, even if the basement is unfinished, the value we have doesn't reflect upgrades. So the value is still, even if we took off the basement finish, the value would still be reflective because it's too low based on the fact that we haven't accounted for upgrades to the property. So that's what I'm saying right now, is that the value is reflective, if not on the lower end, because there would have been upgrades that have been done that we don't have taken into consideration. So yes, an inspection should be done on this property. It wasn't, and that is something that should be done to make our records more accurate. But I still think the value is still more than reasonable.
Ms. Kilborn and Mr. Santos, I'm going to clarify some things so we don't continue. First of all, regarding the pool, you're saying that in your opinion, it needs a liner, but it's still there physically?
The outdoor, I haven't filled it in, but the pool has not been functioning. The liner is all caved in water. There's nothing there other than the around about it.
Okay, central air, because the central air unit is there, just because it needs repairs, it's still assessed for? Is that
It's
fair?
still there. It hasn't functioned for 2 years, so.
I'm asking the assessor right now.
Yeah,
sorry.
the air conditioning is still physically there, so we have it on our records.
On your brief, it says basement type, full basement. That means that there's a basement underneath the footprint of the house.
Yeah, yes.
And then the next column is basement finish, yes. If there was an 8x10 room down there, it would come up as yes, that's right. It's not saying that the full basement area is finished.
No.
Yeah, it's saying roughly 60% of the area is being finished.
But what I'm saying, sorry,
Yeah.
may I comment on that? What I'm saying is that there is not a full basement. Not that the basement's fully finished. There's not a full basement. The basement's only 700 square feet. And
Yeah,
the
I
house
have
is
that as
2,100 square feet.
Yeah, I have the square footage as that. There's the second floor addition has
Correct,
added
over the
square
garage.
footage to the second floor, but the basement area and the main area are the same square footage.
And that's where the renovations were done in 2010. Not the kitchen, not the bathroom, not the other stuff, just the addition.
So the basement type should be full basement part area, am I accurate?
I believe so. I don't know how you guys describe
Well,
it.
the upper area is bigger than the main and the basement, but the main and the basement are the same square footage. So
Correct.
it's still full base. It's still
Okay.
considered a full basement from the original build of the house.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to clarify all that.
Sure. Yep.
Okay, Mr. Santos, anything else?
For questions at the top of my head, I don't really, because she can't really answer it. She doesn't really have the information properly. She just
I
goes
do have the
on this
information. I
thing.
stated all the information that I had.
Yes, but
It
they're
was
all wrong
discussed.
information.
Okay, so there was no kitchen redone, flooring redone, bathrooms redone, because that was
Other than paint, no.
that was told to the assessor.
That was told to the assessor, and there was also a lot of things told to the assessor that you don't have correct.
I have that the liner of the pool
So I guess-
needs to be replaced and that the air conditioning doesn't work, but
I'm-
it's still there. So that's the information that was provided
I guess we should
from
have
the
had
other
an
owner of
inspection.
the property.
Okay, Mr. Santos, we're gonna consider
Move
it
on.
asked and answered. If you want to,
Yeah.
if you want to present further information when you present, but there's no sense,
Absolutely.
the assessor's answers to the best of her ability. Okay, any other questions, Mr. Santos?
Okay, so one of the comparables here that you listed on me, 22 Sanders, the basement is finished. It says full basement, non-finished. It is finished. As well, it's also multiple garages, correct, and attached. So, but yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I guess I'll present my things. All those properties, I guess this is not questions, so it's all remarks for myself to make after.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Seelan, any questions of the assessor?
Yes, just a typical question. What value would an in-ground pool add to a home? Typically,
I don't have a dollar value. I couldn't say. It depends on the size, and it also depends on the neighborhood too. So I don't know exactly how much. I didn't determine what the value of this one would be.
May
But
I
it does add value to a property. But I don't know it. I can't say a specific dollar value.
what value would a working air conditioner add?
I could give a range, maybe like 4,000 to 7,000 probably, but
Sure.
roughly that's just a guess. I don't have an exact dollar value.
Okay, thank you. Much appreciated.
Thank
That's
you.
all my questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Seelan. Mr. Marks, any questions of the assessor?
Yes, the addition that was put on, what year was that done?
The addition, let me just double check. It's 2010 or 2011. Let me just, I believe 2011. Let me just, I don't know if my notes say. I would say in that year, in that range, but let me just see if I can find an exact. I don't have it.
And what size was that addition that was added on?
2010. It was a 518 square foot addition. Oh no, sorry. The addition increases the garage and the second floor. I believe it was 518. That's what it looks like it says.
Okay, and that was, now it's now a multi-level home as compared to a bungalow, is that it?
It was multi-level before.
I think it was just added to, I think there was already a second floor, but they added to it.
Okay. No further questions, thank you.
Am
Thank
I
you.
able to rebuttal to the question that these are, or do we do it after?
Maybe if you can clarify what the addition is, how this house is laid out, Mr. Santos?
It was a two-story property, 1,400 something square feet, with an attached single garage. I think what I did is remove the single garage. It's basically still a single garage, just an extra 2 feet wider, if I'm not mistaken, and put an addition above the house for a master bedroom for us, and that's where the bathroom came in. We put a bathroom in there and a laundry room upstairs because our basement's not very good instead of going up and down the stairs for that. So the laundry room's on the second floor, the bathroom there. And also I'd like to clarify as well on the comment about the pool type thing. The pools actually reduce the value of a property because now you are not looking for someone. You decrease the percentage of people by 50% how much a pool that are looking for a property. So now anyone that doesn't want a pool will not be looking at your property. And actually the only reason I bought the property was because the pool had just been completely renovated. And then we have that done. So but just to clarify those things and
Thank you. All right. Where am I? Mr. Marks, you asked. Mr. Seelan, did you ask?
Yes, I have.
Okay, thank you. It's my turn. Okay, thanks for the clarification on the structure of the house, Mr. Santos. So basically, what we would call, or I think what I'm seeing is an inset garage underneath a second story addition over a garage.
I think they call it like almost like a cab over type thing, so like
Okay,
something like that.
Okay, that explains that. All right, we've got it. Let's see. Okay, so I have no other questions of the assessor. Okay, it's your turn, Mr. Santos.
Okay. So the first thing I'm gonna compare here to, or not everything, all the properties that Ms. Kilborn here has mentioned, they're all lot sizes way above my property. That's why I said it's very difficult to find property that are in my direct neighborhood. Even the one on Monarch Muse is quite different. So under my impression, all the evidence that she provided does not somewhat fit whatsoever in any one of my properties. These are all on the riverside and that type of thing. Mine is not on the riverside. Mine is on the busier side of Rockland Boulevard. So let me get here to these things. So this is my wife's property. So she has more of the knowledge that, and I'm gonna go by what she kind of wrote down here. The pool is not working order. New liner and upgrades needed. Cost of $15,000. Currently no air conditioner. There is an enclosed porch attached to the house. There is no enclosed porch, as the assessor earlier commented to her that we had an enclosed porch. We do not have an enclosed porch anywhere attached to the house. We do not have a shed attached to the house, as the assessor as well commented to my wife when they were discussing it. So, okay, so there's no finished basement. Basement area only 700 square feet. There are no comparable houses sold in my area at my valuation officer suggested I search comparables. So this is what she put down here. 730 Elmhurst Road, which is again, it's just down the street on the other side, which is 1,900 square feet. That's 438, so that's on the high end as well. So she put 34 Barnstaple Cove here. Again, 2,500 square feet, which is quite a bit bigger than the property there. She also got 796 Elmhurst Road here, which is around the same square footage of the property, sold in 2022, $369,000. And then she put 14 Bishop Lane, which is actually an unbelievable little area there too. That's 475, which I guess is still quite higher than we probably list our property for. And she got 54 Barnstaple Cove here. So other comments here that she has. So the renovations was done, I guess between 2008 and 2010. That's when she stated it. And again, so you were mistaken there by kitchen and things being renovated. It was the bathroom upstairs when we did it. And maybe she misunderstood. She thought it was a laundry room because we put the laundry room upstairs. We no longer have a laundry room in the basement. Basement's basically used for storage. And all these properties are all newer that Ms. Kilborn stated. Ours was built in 1974. Everything here is 1980, 78, 85, 94. The one that she's comparing to on Sanderson. That's the one that's even the closest one to our property, 530, that she's comparing to. 710 on Monarch Muse has had extensive upgrades. It's a huge lot. It is a beautiful house because I actually did a drive by it. So, and that's all I'm going to kind of comment on. I don't. There's not much here that we can compare to, so I don't have much. All that I know is that we would not even be able to list it right now at 550, never mind in 2020. So speaking of that, actually, that's what she wrote down here. So when she had the renovations done in 2010, she refinanced the property and the bank assessed it at 350 in 2010. So for it to go up $200,000 that much without any extra renovations or any extra stuff done to the property, I find that hard to believe, especially with 6 kids living in there.
Okay, Mr. Santos. Ms. Kilborn, any questions of the applicant's evidence?
So the kitchen has never been renovated,
Other than painted and cleaned up, that type of thing.
and the flooring and the bathrooms have not been renovated, because that was what was discussed.
Just the carpets removed.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have any other questions.
Thank you. Mr. Marks, any questions of the applicant?
Yes, when the renovation was done, what value was attached to that renovation?
I'm not sure we purchased the house for $140,000, quite a few years before that, and the bank assessed it at $350 after we did the renovation. Again, I did most of the renovation myself, so.
Okay, so what kind of value would you put on that? You don't have some sort of value.
I don't remember, did she have it here when we purchased the property? So. We purchased the property right after Carpathia, so we purchased it in 2000. So 10 years after that, the properties probably went up a little bit. I'd say 100,000. No, so that's 200, so maybe 150,000. So we'd have been at 200, probably there, $150,000. So before the renovation, the property was probably worth $200,000 maybe. And after the renovation, the bank assessed it at 350.
And that was what year?
2010.
2010, 15 years ago.
Yeah, correct. That's when we did our renovations. So that's when we went to go pull out money to do the renovations and build that.
Okay, and what value would you put on this property?
She put down here 475, which I believe right now still be kind of high. So that's what I'd probably listed at right now. Because my neighbor's property, which is a bungalow, which is generally worth a little bit more, just sold for 475 or somewhere in that vicinity.
No further questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Marks. Mr. Seelan, any questions of the applicant?
My questions have been asked and answered. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Okay, so Mr. Santos, I'm confused. You kept on referring to she.
So we're kind of going through a separation right now. So this is her property, but I'm here representing her.
So when you said she, you weren't referring to the assessor's comparables on Monarch Muse,
Oh,
Field Road.
and that compared, I was probably was yes.
Okay, fair. Now I understand. Okay.
Sorry,
So-
I used she both ways.
Yeah.
I should
So-
use Miss Kilborn.
She was your wife. Okay, that in that comparable sheet there that you provided. Okay, got it. And okay, and you're saying that if you were to list it in 2023, you would think the value would be 475,000? Is that no? Yes?
That is what what Catherine Santos, my wife, meant she. Sorry. But I think I'd listed even a little bit lower, but 475, I think it's still a little high. But that's what my wife wrote down.
Okay. All right. So you're at the disadvantage of presenting her evidence. I understood. Okay. All right. I think that's all my questions. Ms. Kilborn, any requirement for summary?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Santos?
I think I'm good as well.
Okay, thank you. That concludes 39 King's Head Close, item number 10, and I believe, Ms. Kilborn, you are finished. Is that correct?
Yes, except for the 2 no-shows. So I don't know if I have to stay on for that.
Yes, you should. You're right.
Okay.
So yeah, but we're going to deal with Elmhurst next, so we require Ms. Bishop to come back right now, and maybe we'll put you in the waiting room. Is that
Okay.
right?
Sure.
Mrs. Harlan, we'll put.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks, Mr. Santos. You'll hear from us as soon as possible, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
I'm just gonna go back to work, but
Mrs. Harlan, so we will put Crystal in the waiting room and we'll bring Ms. Bishop in to deal with item 11 and 12, same address, different roll years. Okay.
Right, and Mr. Chair, I will go get the applicants.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll let Ms. Bishop in and I will be right back.
I see they're waiting. All right, thank you. Hmm. Hello, Patricia.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, good morning.
And we've got two applicants in the room, is that right?
Yes, Mr. Chair, and I can affirm them if you like now.
Yes, please. And I believe Ms. Bishop has already been sworn in, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yes, please.
And would you please stand? Would you please state your full name? Maminish. Thank you. Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. Thank you. Please be seated. Sir, would you please stand?
My name is Vinish Jose Putokare.
Thank you. Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Okay, good afternoon to the applicants and to the assessor. We're dealing with item number 11. File number 25-459, roll number 0100117860. 555 Elmhurst Road, and we're dealing with a 2025 Realty Assessment Appeal.
Mr. Chair, I believe we have a 2024 appeal as well,
And 25, yes.
and it's a different file number.
Yes, that's correct. We'll deal with them one at a time, Ms. Bishop, please.
2024 would be first, right? Because it's a different reference, an earlier reference date.
Yeah, we're dealing with they're listed as file number 11, so I have to go in that order.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay. So, well, let me find the appropriate. Item number 11. Okay. So, Ms. Bishop, you've got a bunch of evidence provided here, right?
Yes, it would be 30 pages for the file
Okay.
25459.
Would you like to go over the brief first, please, and then we'll go into
Okay,
the.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so the file number and roll number has been read already, so I'll go into the assessment information for the roll year 2025, reference date of April 1st, 2023. The assessed value is $1,088,000. This was a supplementary assessment on a new construction, so going from land value to an improved valuation as of January 1st, 2025. So we're looking as of the condition as of January 1st, 2025, as if it were have sold on April 1st, 2023. The definition of market value that we are assessing based on is the amount that the property might reasonably be expected to sell in the open market with a willing seller and a willing buyer. The property was inspected on September 12th, 2025. The department was not aware at the time of issuing the supplementary notice that the property was incomplete. That was discovered while preparing for the appeal, as well as discussions with the applicant pre-appeal, which is why the property was inspected to confirm the condition. So we do agree that there is an adjustment needed to the value. Where the disagreement still lies is between the department and the applicant on the appropriate value, which is why we still proceeded to appeal. So I do have a recommendation of valuation reduction to $881,000. That is based on an as-is value versus the certified assessment right now is as if it were complete. So I'll just walk through how we derived that estimate of value. I'm going on to into my addenda. So page 4. Why are we assessing this property even though it's not fully complete? So I'm just going to go over that for the applicant's purposes and perhaps if the panel has interest in that. Basically, if a property has been under construction but is not yet complete, for 2 years, that the department does assess the property after 2 years in the current state that it's in. So we would still assess the renovations or construction that's existent after that 2 years. Typically, new construction is completed within 2 years, so this doesn't come off very often where we do have to issue a partial assessment, but in this case it did. So that's under 1.1 II and IV. That's page 4. Okay, then I have page 5. I just had compiled some information that I felt was relevant from planning, property, and development, as well as water and waste. So we have some statements here from planning, property, and development in regards to the construction. In 2023, there was an extension request due to COVID issues. Now lack of funding. It said electrical, plumbing, framing inspections have been done. Now interior work is left to do, such as the flooring, countertops, interior doors, and garage doors. Then in January 2024, another follow-up on the extension was just financial issues, shortage of materials and labor. In July of 2024, the homeowner had indicated they were getting some private funding to commence the work again. And in May of 2025, further extension was requested by the property owner, indicating that about 95% of the work was done and that it would be completed within 3 to 4 months. Water and Waste Department has the service starting at the residence August 30th, 2024. In May 10th, 2024, here's an aerial photograph of the subject. Just given we don't have any like historical photos post the inspection that we did in September to represent the condition, I did include these just so that you can see that the exterior does appear like primarily complete. There is, of course, some finishing work to be done, but the structure, the roof, the windows, the foundation is all completed at that time. Now moving on to page 7 is the inspection that was done by a technical assistant at the department on September 12th. So I'll just let the panel and the applicant look through those photos. Of course, I'd be open to questions afterwards. But again, it's showing that a lot of the work that remains at this time is interior work, interior finishing work, but there is a working kitchen, there's a bathroom. It does appear that at times somebody may be living there or has been staying there. Finished. I'm just going to scroll through these photos and get to so how do we assess or determine the market value of a partially constructed property? Unfortunately, it would be very difficult to find comparables of properties that sell mid-construction. So unfortunately, we do have to do kind of a different approach to this type of property. So one of the primary approaches that would be used is a cost approach, which essentially takes the market value of the land and adds in the cost of the construction. So on page 15, you'll see our estimated land value. So we estimate the land value of 555 Elmhurst at about $242,000. If it had sold on April 1st, 2023, you'll see the 4 comparables there. They're all in Elmhurst, all the similar zoning. They were all sold either with a building that was demolished after purchase or the primary value was in the land. And then there was one sale on the comparable one where there was no building on the site. And then there's also a map showing the comparables. And then page 16, we use the Marshall and Swift costing service to determine what the cost of the construction would be. This is adjusted for Winnipeg. So you can see the cost estimate of the property. This is as if it was fully complete and costed out on April 1st, 2023. It would be about $892,000 to fully construct this property. Now we do remove GST from those numbers when we are doing evaluation. So we've removed GST and it's $852,000 is what we're going to be using as the cost as if fully complete. So 17 has a summary kind of, so if the property was fully complete, we would estimate the cost valuation as $1,094,000. If we're taking into account some unfinished work, we did an estimate of the unfinished work left as 213,000. So we took that off the as if complete cost and estimated the value as 881,000. That's how we came up with the cost valuation. We're going on to page 18, the direct comparison approach. So this is using sales of similar homes. This is the approach that we typically use when we come to the border revision for improved residential property. So I did still want to present this because I know it's what's typically is used to make valuation decisions. And so page 19, what I wanted to do here is, while these properties are do require a significant amount of adjustments, in my opinion, which is why this methodology may be slightly weak. It does just show the panel what a newly constructed two-story home in Charleswood, what the price is currently in the market as of April 1st, 2023. So we're looking at about between 924,000 to 1,096,000, or 288 or 378 per square foot. So like I said, there would be adjustments required for differences such as living area, year built, and basement finish. But we conclude that the assessed value of the property as if complete would fall within that range. So we have the current assessment as 1,088,000 or 350 per square foot. So it's just giving a general idea of that it does fall within the range of what newer constructed two stories in Charleswood are selling for if they were fully complete. Page 20 has the map of those comparables. Page 21 is just a summary of what the direct comparison approach is saying as if fully complete. 2022 shows the status of title. It does show that Steinbeck Credit Union does have a lien against the property for $1.5 million. In conversations with the property owner's partner, he had suggested that's likely what the credit union is estimating the value of the property once it's complete. Page 24 is the permit for the property. So you can see it was a 2020 permit. So that's why we are assessing it in 2024. We did give some leeway on that because we could have assessed it, I think, around July of 2022. However, with residential homes, we try to be a little bit more generous and give people time for delays. And especially around the COVID time, there was delays kind of outside of their control. But once we noticed the property still wasn't complete in 2024, we did move to add it to the roll. And I believe the remainder of my evidence is just the building plans for the panel to take a look at. As you can see, it's not a typical infill home. It's quite, I would say, it's above average to. It has two garages, like a double garage and a single attached garage. There's also several bathrooms. There's a deck above one of the garages as well. So these are all features that would be above average for a typical infill in the area as well. I will just go back to page, because I realize I just kind of went over this a little bit too quick here. On page 19, the comparable sales, I just would like to go over the subject attributes as if it was fully complete. So it would be a 2024 two-story home in Elmhurst. It would be 3,106 square feet of living area with a full basement. There was no basement finish mentioned on the permit, so there is no basement finish. There's 4 full baths and 1 half bath and a shower, and also a second stand-up shower. There is no central air, 1 fireplace. There's 2 attached garages, a single and a multiple. The lot size is 9,499 square feet, and Elmhurst does have medium traffic influence on it. Just to go back to page 2, where I'm just going to summarize my value conclusions. So it's my recommendation that the cost approach as if complete is the best estimate of value. So 881,000, that's where my recommendation came from. But I also did provide an adjusted direct comparison value of 816,000. So that's basically just doing a lot of adjustments on the sales as if they sold in an incomplete state. What would be the estimate of value? And like I said, that required a lot of like estimates and judgment, and I wouldn't consider it the most sound of valuations. So I am recommending 881,000 based on the cost approach, which is the land value and the current construction that is there as of January 1st, 2025. And that is the end of my presentation.
Thank you to the assessor. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm just trying to record some information here. Okay. All right. Good morning to the applicants. The process here is going to be that the assessor has presented evidence of her two approaches to value. She's making a recommendation to revise the assessment to 881,000 for the 2025 year. I think it is my understanding that you're not in agreement with that valuation. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
We are not in agreement of that one, and we came to know 881 right now because when she called us 3 days back, she told a value of 400,000 and 450,000. I just not know within 2-3 days again the value doubled.
Okay.
How it happened.
So you're
not agreeing before for that 400 and 450,000.
So you're not in agreement. So our next step is going to be the assessors presented quite a large brief here. I'm not sure if you've had a time to review it, but she's gone over it very detailed. And do you have any questions of her information that she's presented so far? You will have a time when it's your turn to present why you think the assessment is incorrect. But right now, I would ask you to ask questions of the evidence presented by the assessor. Do you have any questions?
Yes. She is telling that the cost of building will be 881, something like that. Really, that has nothing to the reality. That is her imagination and somebody's cost. My house, we took the mortgage only of 600,000 and
Yeah.
we used only 200,000. So how can she arrive at a conclusion that 881 came from? Where did it came from? That is my question. The cost of the house to build this house, she told some figures of 881 something. I just not know where the cost came from.
Okay.
Sure. So I'll break down that valuation. So we have the cost to build the house, the 881,000 is including the land value of the property, which
So
is
what is the land value?
242,000
Land
is
value.
is including the land value. And the remainder is the cost of what there is currently. So I'm just going to do a quick calculation here.
Ms. Bishop, would you mind referring to what page you're
Sure, I'm looking on page 17.
Okay, so can the applicants go to page 17 of the assessor's brief? And we can work through this evidence that she's presented so you can see what she's done exactly. Please tell me when you've got it. Okay, do you have page 17 in front of you?
Yeah, I'm just trying.
Do the applicants have page 17 in front of them?
Almost there. Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Ms.
So the 881,000 is the land value of 242,000, and then the current cost of construction as estimated by the Marshall and Swift Service, which is 639,000. Now, the way you're the reason for the discrepancy between the way that you're constructing your home versus the Marshall and Swift Service may come from the fact that you're not really building your home in the what would be typical of the marketplace, whereas a builder would build it. It sounds like you're acting as a general contractor, outsourcing different professional services to construct your home, as well as doing some of the work yourself. So that might be where the discrepancy is. But when we're looking at market value, we're looking as what would it cost as if that home was built in the typical manner that's expected in the marketplace, which would be a builder constructing the home.
Yeah, but the fact is that has no any reality with the situation. You are imagining you might be building or somebody else will be building. But if you are considering the cost of the building, you have to consider actual cost, which incurred to the building, not to somebody might have cost that much, this much, and all. It does not reflect to that building thing. You are talking about some other building somebody might have built. That has nothing to do with this building. If you are
Yep.
considering this building, you have to consider only about this building construction, not by somebody building something else. That has nothing to do with this building cost. If you're considering cost, you have to purely consider cost, not an imagination thing.
Okay, I do have to correct you on that. We are assessing based on legislation, which is market value of properties. And so we do have to do what a typical appraisal would do. We can't just take what each individual person spends on a property and equal that their assessment. We're looking at what is typical in the marketplace, and what would it sell for. So what somebody would typically buy your home for is what it would cost them to build the property, not what it cost you. So what would it typically cost for somebody to build this property is what we're looking at for market value for assessment purposes. We're not looking specifically at what it cost you. That would be, we wouldn't have uniform assessments if we did everything on a site-specific basis. We have to have fair assessments citywide. So we are looking at what would typically occur in the marketplace.
Here the problem is that it's not the cost what we have incurred in our property, and that is the city's or that person's imagination and gone with some other property's cost. We have not incurred that cost, and we have never got that money to construct that building also. So our building cost till 2023 is only like 200,000. So what others cost is nothing to do with my property if they are purely going on the cost basis. They are going with some other basis, I have no idea. And we have not got that money either from the bank or from anywhere else. So without getting the money, I don't know how we can put that much money. Like it's a big money. She's telling about around 600 or 700 or 800,000. That we have no idea about it.
Okay,
I understand city's limitation that they cannot go specifically with each property and each things. They have to sit in their office and decide how it will be arrived. But we are in Winnipeg. We constructed the house in Charleswood, and this is the cost we have incurred till 2023 for building that house. It is right that we did the construction by ourselves, and we are not acting as general contractor. We are building the house as legally by ourselves in Winnipeg in Charleswood area. And our cost till 2023 is only 200,000.
yeah, okay. To the applicant, that's understood. But the assessor is explaining that their methodology is to use, correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Bishop, a software package that has preloaded costing for construction of a single family home. And that's what that's what the value is reflecting. You will have an opportunity to argue your case that shouldn't be but that's I believe the assessor has explained it to you. That's her opinion of value. You will have your opportunity to present your case why that is wrong, okay? Now, do we have any other questions on the valuation that's presented by the assessor?
Yeah, another question we have is that she told the land value is 224. Our land and our neighbor's land, and our address, 563 Elmhurst Road is next to our house. 555 Elmhurst is our property, 563 Elmhurst is our next lot, which is little bigger than ours. And their valuation is 264, including the house. And so their square feet is 1,120 something. So even if you consider 200,000 for their house, the cost of the land could come only around like 64,000, 74,000, much below 100,000.
Okay, again, we're not gonna compare assessments.
Of the land.
That's right. We're not gonna compare assessments. Again, you'll have an opportunity to present that evidence. I understand you're questioning her valuation of the land. But we can't use a comparison of an assessment. Any other questions?
And another thing is, she's telling as of today, if the house is sold with on construction basis, and she have never presented even one example of any house sold or any valuation taken for construction basis. She just assumed if it is sold on the construction basis, this will be, that will be, and all. When we actually talked to the real estate agents, they told that if a building is under construction, it will be minimum 30 to 50% less than the cost incurred into the property. And if that being the case, I does not know how can the valuation be if you finish that one. And if it is like similar house, it would have been somewhat okay. But on to that area, all the house, that area, the Charleswood area where our house is located, is a old area, not newly developed zone. And in that, it's all old houses there, not new houses there. And even new houses valuation is only 750. But even if you consider old houses, and ours is not similar to any of the other houses, as she mentioned, there is a double garage, single garage, balcony. This type of house is not anywhere in Chatswood area. It is typically very unique and different. And those type of construction houses half completed cannot be valued like the full cost of the house. So she arriving is just to escalate the numbers other than really coming into the facts. I don't know why she's going so. I have no idea.
Ms. Bishop, would you like to explain the two values you've provided and the adjustments you made, maybe for simplification?
And one more thing I want to make before she explains. Can I?
Up to the applicant, allow the assessor to explain, please. Respond to your question. Does that make sense, Ms. Bishop? Maybe one more time.
Sure, I can explain how I came up with my values again. So I did a cost methodology as well as a direct comparison approach. Like the applicant said, the property is very unique. It would be very rare for a property to sell in mid-construction. So unfortunately, there likely wouldn't be a sale to be found for the department to use. So we do have to use alternate methods of valuation. So what we're doing is estimating what the property would sell for if somebody were purchasing it based on the cost to construct. So which would be the land value plus the cost of the construction.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so that's the assessor's opinion of value based on what she would call two approaches to value. Again, you can have your opportunity to present why you think that's wrong. Any other questions on the assessor's evidence presented?
I had a question, but I forgot right now. When it
Okay.
comes, can I ask later?
If something comes, of course, yes, okay.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Seelan, any questions of the assessor?
Yes, so the inspection took place September 12th, 2025.
Correct.
So now the reference period finished April 1st, 2023. Can you just explain how that functions? Because with respect to the inspection, I guess we're taking that into account here. Does that take an account into the actual cost estimates, which you provided on page 17?
Okay, so just again, where my line of thinking was in regards to, so the reference date is April 1st, 2023, but we're going as of the physical condition of the home as of January 1st, 2025. So the inspection occurred September 2025. So there is a difference in condition that we need to account for between January and September. But based on my investigation with planning, property and development, which is shown on page 5, there is actually very little work completed between that time period. So basically what was present as of January 1st, 2025, we are assuming was similarly present as of September 2025. So going back to your question about that cost estimate reflecting the condition as of September 2025, no, it does not. It reflects what that cost report reflects what it would be as if it were fully complete. What I've done then is discounted that valuation for what I have determined is the cost of the unfinished work, which is what we saw in September 12th, 2025. So about 216,000, I estimated that would be the cost of the finishing of the home at that point.
Okay, thank you. That's all my questions.
Thank you, Mr. Seelan. Mr. Marks, any questions?
Questions this time, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Bishop, I'm looking on page 17. I guess what I'm asking for is there a workup of how you came to 881? I'm seeing on page 725 or 904.
So, okay, so the 242,000 comes from page 15, which is the land value analysis.
Okay, so page 15, I'm seeing 188, or that's a selling price. Okay.
You might be on the brief for 2024. That sounds like the land value in 2024.
My mistake. There we go. Again. Okay. Bear with me 1 second.
Sure.
Item 11. No, that's where I was. Okay. Okay. Huh. Am I not? Okay, there we are. Okay. Now I understand. Somehow it
Okay.
flipped the wrong item number 12. Okay.
Do you still have the same question? Should I still walk through it?
Yes, please, just briefly.
Okay,
Yeah.
so page 15 has the land value analysis, is where we came up with the 242,000. And page 16 shows the Marshall and Swift estimator for the home as if complete as of April 1st, 2023. We then deducted GST, which is shown at the bottom of page 16, because generally GST is rebated on new construction. And then discounted for the unfinished work. There is no workup for that. It was just based on an estimate based looking at the cost report and what was left to complete of about 213,000.
13, okay, yeah. Okay. Now I've got it. Perfect. Thank you very much for that. That is all my questions for the assessor. It is now the applicant's opportunity to present, and let us find your brief, please, before you begin.
Before that, I have to ask some questions which I forgot. Can I?
Okay, hopefully they've been answered, or maybe they've been answered, but yes, go ahead.
Yeah, like when the assessor told, she told that there is 4 bathrooms and kitchen functioning and everything, because their own person came to the house and assessed and checked and seen that bathrooms are not functioning, except one, there is a sink, a toilet, and only the shower. Other bathrooms are not functioning. I have showed them and they came and verified it. And after that, I don't know why they are still telling that there are 4 bathrooms, half bathrooms and all. I didn't got that point. Another thing is that after the assessor came to my house and assessing, the very next day city called me and told me that the valuation in 2023 is 400,000 and valuation for 2025 is 450. And if you have this cost of the building like 480 something and land value 224, how come you have a conclusion that it is 400 and 450 like 2-3 days back? I don't know how it
Oh.
came.
Let's let the assessor answer the first question regarding the plumbing count.
Sure, I think maybe there's a misunderstanding of what I said was, so as if complete, that was the bathroom count of the property. I was saying when we went there and based on the photos, it does appear that there is like a functioning bathroom and kitchen because it does appear that somebody is staying there. I know the water's been turned on. I know that there's garbage and recycling carts there. I know that the mailing address was asked to be changed to this back in the spring of 2025. So all suggestions, all that evidence has led me to the conclusion that somebody could be staying there and living there at that time.
Okay, and the second question was, my memory serves
It was
me.
about a previous conversation, but I didn't present any evidence on that, so I don't think that question is relevant at this time,
Okay,
in my opinion.
okay. Yeah, so the applicant can present that evidence when it's his turn?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. And was there anything else, sir? The other question, was there only two or was there three?
Yeah, but the first question she didn't answer it properly, but I am okay. I can ask later again.
Okay, thank you. All right, so that's everything. Okay, now the applicant, it's time for you to present your evidence, why you think it's wrong.
City's previous original assessment for 2024 was 264,000. Then surprisingly, in last 4 to 6 months, city revalued my house just under 1 million. The present value is just above 1 million. That's made me to appeal in this case. The city's reassessed value for 2024 and 2025 is 994,000 and 1,088,000. That does not reflect the actual condition or market value of the property. The house is still under construction and is not livable. The city's valuation has changed multiple times. It started at 264,000 in the beginning, then 400,000, then increased to 450,000, and now it's jumped to 850,000 and now beyond 1 million. So even the city assessor's own report recommend lower value for 2024 as 725,000, which is the as-is value. And for the 2025, as-is value is 881,000. These are not reasonable and does not reflect the true market value of a custom-built, unfinished home in a neighborhood of older and smaller houses. This inconsistency is concerning, especially when the property hasn't changed significantly in the time. Again, this house is still under construction and not ready for occupancy. I have had to request multiple permit extension during this time because of delays caused by COVID, financial hardship, and shortage of materials and labor. Some areas were temporarily finished using used materials just to meet the permit extension requirements, but they will need to be redone later, hopefully within the next 2 years. In the permit extension request, I mentioned like some percentage of completion there. It was only to meet the city's criteria for extending the timeline and also from the advice from my bank officer to get additional mortgage to complete the work. In reality, there's a lot of work left. My intention was to complete by September 2025, but due to financial constraint, I wasn't able to do as planned. In our opinion, we still need 450,000 to 550,000 to complete the work. For that, I have planned to sell another property to fund the completion of the this one. Unfortunately, the sale didn't go through. So then I took a private mortgage and I'm planning to sell additional property to finish this work. And also I wanted to, in our guessing that maybe the city is confused with the maximum proposed value of the house once the house is fully completed. Which is the bank assumed the value to be 1,800,088,000. This was facilitated by the bank for the future loans without the appraisal to be done. In addition to that, last year, I was defaulted the mortgage payment, which made us to incur the options for selling the property. And we met few real estate agents. Their recommendation was to list the house for 299,000 to 349,000. And they asked us to prepare the sale around 250,000. At the same time, one of our neighbor, 569 Elmhurst Road, he came to us. His house was under construction at the same time, and he offered us a cash price of 250,000 for this RC's property. So we considering our cost of land, which is about 100,000, and the construction expenses, we spent approximately 250,000 up to the year 2023, and we added 40,000 up to 2025 March. And after that, again, we spent 40,000 till now, which comes a total of 330,000. I know that we don't compare the comparables, but I wanted to let you know that if we consider the properties like a 563 Elmhurst next to our property, which are assessed at 264,000, and the house cost is considering 200,000, then the land value should be less than 100,000. Also in Winnipeg market, I wanted to add one more, like if we consider one more property like a 752 Elmhurst Road, which is also assessed a value of 286,000. Again, the house cost, when we are considering about 200,000, then the land value also should be less than 100,000. Yeah, and the 752 Elmhurst Road, that's one of my other property. And I want to note you one more thing. In Winnipeg market, we just researched that the homes under construction are partially finished. If you want to sell that house, then there will be a discount of 30 to 50% compared to other completed value. This is especially for the homes which is custom built and not easily comparable. And also in the neighborhood consisting of older or smaller houses. Because of my property is not finished, not livable, and still requires significant work that needs the 450,000 to 550,000, it should be valued around 264,000 in 2024 and 300,000 for 2025. My house is still under construction, as you know that, and it's missing key interior finishes. Like a bathroom needs to be completed. We need flooring, drywall, ceiling, plumbing, electrical, heating and cooling, and kitchen. Then railing for stairs, doors for rooms and closets. Then doors for garage doors. Exterior of the house, backside storage and deck, balconies, and the yard work. And the basement also needs to be completed. Balcony glass we need to complete, and several interior elements, the cabinetry, all those ones are incomplete. And the house is not ready for occupancy. We are living currently at 998 Banning Street, and we just go often because we were living in 1507 Elgin Avenue and we sold that house, so we don't have anywhere to keep our things. That's why we kept our things at 555 Elmhurst Road, and we go once in a week and go there. And sometimes my husband, he just stay for emergency or something like that, to take care of the house. And we haven't started living there yet. So
Cool.
our request is that since it is unfinished condition and financially constrained and market feedback and assessor's own recommendation. Yeah, we would respectfully asking the board to consider revising the valuation. And I'm also wanted to add you that the mortgage we took for this property was around 600,000. And we took 250,000 to buy another property, 888 Crochet Drive. And we spent 100,000 to buy another property, 752 Elmhurst Road. And we took 50,000 to buy another property, 540 William. So the bank linked all 555 Elmhurst Road, 888 Crochet Drive, and 752 all together. Since we defaulted the payment and we asked the bank to release one of the property to take private mortgage, and then they released 752 Elmhurst Road.
Yeah, could I just make a statement here, please, to the applicant? We don't need the personal details of the financial situation here. What we'd like from you is an estimate of what you think the assessment should be reflecting the unfinished condition of the house at this time.
Yeah, in 2023, if you are considering, we have incurred the cost of around 220,000 or 200,000, something like that. And then in 2024, we spent another 40,000. And after we selling 1507 Elgin Avenue, we spent another 45,000 again. And when they came for seeing the house, right now, it is like 2 months back, whatever work we done after we selling the house at 1507 Elgin. So
Okay,
the cost is very less than
the assessors recommend,
300,000.
sir, the assessor's recommending $881,000 for the unfinished condition. I'm asking you, what do you think the assessment should be reflecting the current condition in your opinion?
Yeah. Yeah. In my current condition, if I sell, people will buy it for lower than what actually cost of the building. They will not consider what is the cost you incurred for construction and everything, because
understand that.
they will be valuing it around 250 to 300,000.
Maybe I'll ask a different way.
Okay,
What
sorry.
what do you think you would sell the house for in its current condition if it were up for sale in 2023?
2023, I wanted it for 400 or 450, but a real estate agent told that if you are listing the house, you have to sell it for 250. That is what the real estate agent came and told us. And that is what the neighbor came and given us the cash offer for.
Yeah, okay. So you're asking the board to revise the assessment to $400,000 to $450,000. Is that correct?
That is what the board told us last week when the board was talking to me after coming and seeing the property. Can we do 400 for 224? And in 2025, can we do 450? So I requested the board to be on 2024 to be 264 and 300,000 for 225.
Yeah, okay.
Board didn't agree. And then again, after 1 week, board told that it is around 901 million and all.
Okay. Ms. Bishop, any comment on that, those two values thrown, just presented to us?
A comment on?
On those two values that were presented that the owner feels was given to him at 400 to 450,000.
Yeah, he said the board gave him those values.
The board?
That's what I heard him just say.
Oh, yes, sir, where are you getting those numbers from? I'm sorry.
After city person called me, told me that they want to come inside the house and take the pictures. And the person who came and took the pictures from my house, she told that it will be presented to the city tax assessment team or some department. I don't know what the department name is.
Well, it wasn't.
Then they called me after 1 hour and the city person told me the valuation we are arriving is around 400,000 for 2024 and 450,000 for 2025.
Okay,
All came from the city.
yeah, like you said, okay, yeah, we'll leave that one, okay, yeah. Oh, boy, okay, I think we have an understanding. I'm not sure if maybe I need clarification here. I'm asking you, what do you think the assessment should be for 2025? Assessor's offering you $881,000. What do you think the assessment should be?
Should be around 300 or 350,000.
Okay. All right. All right. I think that's everything of your presentation, I believe. Miss Bishop, any questions on the for the applicant?
Sure. What value would you think that the home would be worth or that you would sell it for if it were fully complete, and what would be your source of information?
Question to me.
Yes.
I think if the work is completely completed, it will be minimum sold for 1 million or above.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
if the work is completely completed, it could be even more. Like if I am using again very high-end one, we are estimating 450 to 550. But if I am using again very high-end materials to finish the house, like maybe around 700,000 or 800,000, could go up to 1.5 million something. It all depends upon how you finishes the house. Then only the value will go up. Right now, it is only basic structure came up. And if you sell it, you won't get the value right now. Once it is finished, more than the amount you spent, if you spend $5, you will get $8 or $9 back. But instead of $5, if you spend $3, and if it is under construction, you will not get that $3. You will get only like $2 something. That's how the market behaves.
Thank you. That's my only question.
Thank you. Mr. Seelan, any questions of the applicant?
No, I think my questions have been asked and answered by others. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Marks?
Same for me. All the questions have been asked and answered. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And I have no questions either. Ms. Bishop, any requirement for summary?
No, I don't have any
Okay,
summary.
thank you. Did the applicants have any requirement for summary other than what you stated?
We have a request to consider the situation as is market value. We are assuming it will, we does not want to sell and take a chance. We felt like an insult when somebody came and told us that they want to buy it for 250 because of our financial situation. We tried to get private loan and save the house and trying to fix it. Right now, we does not have the money, so we are using old materials from marketplace and other things to fix it somehow temporarily and live in that house because presently we does not have a house to stay. We are in a difficult situation.
Okay, I forgot to ask a question to the owner. I'm sorry. Is there anybody occupying that house?
I used to stay in the house because I don't want to make the house vacant because people might break into the house. So once in 2 days, I go and stay in the house to ensure that it is not vacant.
Now, the assessor stated that the water and sewer service, I guess, was connected effective September 20. Where's my notes? Effective September 2024. So when that was hooked up, and I guess there would be heating to keep it from things freezing, would that not establish an occupancy date?
No, we haven't got that permit from the city to have the occupancy there because the work is not connected. The plumbing is not connected to any of that bathroom tubs or shower or to the kitchen. And I have clearly showed all these things to the person who came there. I have told them which one is working, which one is not. As I told you, only one shower, one toilet, and one sink is working. And the person from the city, when they came, they physically checked each and everything.
Yeah,
And
Yeah, that's all
So we
understood.
have already verified it.
Okay. All right, that answers my question. Thank you very much. Okay. That concludes item number 11, the 2025 Realty Assessment Appeal for 555 Elmhurst Road. Last item on the docket, item number 12, 555 Elmhurst Road. We're dealing with the same property, file number 25-458, except reflecting a 2024 Realty Assessment Appeal. Ms. Bishop, when you are ready, please.
Okay, so the city did issue a supplementary notice effective October 1st, 2024 for a 2024 assessment to add the improvement to the value of the land. Our full assessed value is 994,000. So what we're looking at is the physical condition as of October 1st, 2024, as if it had sold April 1st, 2021. So I'd like to repeat that we did inspect the property on September 12th, 2025. Going to page 2, I have 2 estimates of value here. Again, we've utilized the cost approach and the direct comparison approach, with the cost approach being, in my opinion, being the most relevant given the property is under construction and those properties don't typically transact on the open market. So the direct comparison approach requires a lot of adjustments to determine a value. So the cost approach as if complete, using the Marshall and Swift cost service, adding the land value is 904,000. Reducing that value for the estimate of incomplete work is 725,000. The direct comparison approach as if complete, taking the value of comparable properties is 994,000. And then after making adjustments to reflect the under construction state of the subject, 746,000. So again, I'm relying primarily on the cost approach, with my recommendation of value being 725,000. My evidence is very similar to last file, so I'll go through it quickly. Going into page 3, the addenda. Again, I have the Municipal Assessment Act, which dictates that we are to assess an improvement 2 years past the date of construction. So we are using the current state of the property as of October 1st, 2024 to determine the assessment for 2024. Again, I have on page 5 some information I compiled from other city departments that are relevant for the October 1st, 2024 date. So again, the statements from the property owner regarding the progress of the construction, and also the water and waste service date of August 30th, 2024. Again, showing the aerial photographs of the subject as of May 10th, 2024, showing that the exterior of the structure is substantially completed. And then we have the inspection photos on page 7 of September 12th, 2025. Okay, so going on to page 14, again, the cost approach analysis. We'll start on page 15 with the land value analysis. So we're estimating that the land would sell for 188,000 on April 1st, 2021. That is based on comparables in the Elmhurst neighborhood zoning R1L. All these properties sold with either no building on the property or a building that had little to no value. On page 16, we have the Marshall and Swift cost estimator for the property, what it would construct to build it as of April 2021, and that came in at about 750,000. Once we deduct GST, that came to 716,000. Page 17 shows the summary of the cost approach. So we have the land value of 188,000. Then we have the cost to construct the building as if fully complete as of 716,000. So a full valuation of 904,000 to construct the property, including the land as of April 1st, 2021. And then we've deducted the cost of what we, as of a 2021 cost of what we estimate still needed to be complete of 179,000. And that's how we came to the 725,000. And going into page 18 again, I did show the direct comparison approach. Well, its relevance and applicability to, in my opinion, is weak just due to the fact that it is a home that's wouldn't transact frequently in the marketplace in its unfinished state. I am showing the panel just what a typical like two-story newer constructed home in Charles would sell for, a range of valuation of $839,000 to $1,190,000 or 305 or to $374 a square foot. So the subject of property, the estimate of market value as if fully complete using the direct comparison approach of $994,000 or $320 a square foot does fall within that range of what homes are selling for. Similar type properties are selling for. The comparable map for those comparable sales is on page 20. 2020 Page 21 summarizes the direct comparison approach value. Again, showing the mortgage against the property, the lien stating 1.5 million. So basically, like if the home were to sell, like that would have to be released from the property. So while it doesn't directly play into what market value would be, we would know that the property owners would have to come up with that money to release the lien if they sold the property. So it's just supplementary information of interest. And then 2024, page 24, we have the permit, and then the remainder of the brief is the building plans for the board's review. And then I'll just summarize again on page 2 what I did with the direct comparison value. So what I did was just after adjustments came to and given the current condition of the property, came to 746,000 as an estimate if we're using the direct comparison approach. But my recommendation is based on the cost approach in the as-is condition as of October 1st, 2024 of 725,000. And that's my presentation.
Thank you, Ms. Bishop. Do the applicants have any questions of the assessor?
Yes, because in this assessment, they does not have any proof. What they are telling is that it will be done. It is based upon this one and all. They didn't come to assess inside the house or anything. Whatever information that the city and other things, and when we applied for the permit, we told that it will be completed. So they assumed that those things are done. In reality, none of these things were in place. So I just not know it has any reflection to the reality of the cost or to the building or anything other than basic building structure coming up. There was nothing done in 2023 at all.
We're looking at what the physical condition as of October 1st, 2024.
October 1st, 2024.
Mm-hmm.
October 1st, 2024, we have put kitchen cabinets, bathroom, showers and everything, but nothing was connected. Not even plumbing was connected, drainage was connected, electrical is connected, nothing was connected. Those things were connected after we sold the house in 1507 Elgin Avenue after March 2025. Before that, nothing was even in place even there.
So we based our estimate of the condition based on the aerial photographs and the notes from planning, property and development. I don't have any alternative information to use.
This does not reflect the condition of the inside of the house. That is only outside. Even still outside, at that time, garage concrete or anything was not done. Only the garage outside walls were there. There were not even steps to go inside the house. At that time, if you see the area, you will not see even the steps to go to the house at that time.
Okay, to the applicant, we will allow you to present that evidence when it's your turn. Any other questions of the assessor?
No, without the work done, they are assuming something. So we don't take any of those things. And as I told you, these costs they are assuming that normally somebody will be doing. We never incurred that cost in the beginning. So their assessment is for some other things. And I understood it. So I'm not questioning again though.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Seelan, any questions of the assessor?
Yeah, just for clarification, with this property, we're referencing October 1st, 2024. With the previous property, were we referencing October 1st, 2025? Or was it January 1st, 2025?
It was January 1st, 2025, because it was a full year supplementary assessment, whereas this assessment was only made effective on October 1st, 2024.
Thank you. That's all my questions, Mr. Chair. Much appreciated.
Thank you. Mr. Marks?
No questions this time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ms. Bishop, what is the value in the roll right now for this 2024?
994,000.
And you're recommending that it be revised to 725,000?
That's correct.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. That is my only question. Okay. Now, the applicants, it's your turn to present evidence, please proceed.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we don't have the previous pictures during the construction of before October 1st, 2024.
Okay,
We do have those pictures. We didn't send it to the city because we didn't know that it is 2023 time. It is some of the construction happening and all. If you know, we just send the pictures before 2025 March.
Okay.
And in 2023, we were even still considering the development of stairs going to the second floor, and even the steps to the house were not there. We were using ladders to go inside the house, those type of things. So
Okay. Considering that in your opinion, or you're stating that it was physically unfinished compared to the 2025 appeal we just did, can you estimate what do you think the market value should be? You're not, evidently you're not accepting the assessor's recommendation at 720.
at that time, it should be around 200,000, because no one can physically enter to that property unless you are a handyman, because you need to use stairs and those type of things. So it was not a normal person cannot even go, and
Okay,
like it was that type of a situation. So a person has to value the house, not going inside. They have to stand outside and assume that it is done. And at that time, furnace was not there, hot water tank was not there,
Yeah.
kitchen was not there, showers was nothing was connected. Some of the showers didn't even came up there. Most of them were sometimes kept even in the garages. And so
okay. You know what, I'm gonna ask a question just to clarify. In
okay.
24, October 1st, as of October 1st, the house was framed, scratch coated on the outside, all the windows were installed. Flooring, it was drywalled, it was heating and plumbing installed, is that correct?
Heating and plumbing, no. Rest
There was
of
no-
the things are yes.
No, there's no furnace in that or whatever kind of heat you had.
No, the furnace they just installed, it was not having heating. No heating. 2023. Because of no heating, the basement floor got frozen and cracked.
No, I'm asking in 2024, October 1st, when the assessor put on the value, was there heating in the house as of October 1st, 2024? Because the water was installed in September. So was there not heating and plumbing lines installed and that kind of thing? Yes or no?
2020, end of 2024, around November or December only, we had the heat at the house.
Okay, so the water was turned on September of 2024.
But
Did-
water came to the house, but from the house, it is not connected to any of the sink or bathrooms there at that time.
Was the house drywalled inside?
Yeah, 90% drywall. Yeah, not 10%. Some areas no.
Electrical installed, including the lighting fixtures?
No. In one panel, electrical connection is there, but it is not connected to any of the fixtures.
Okay. Plumbing fixtures not in was the plumbing copper plumbing installed?
Plumbing is there, but it is not connected.
Okay,
And there is no copper. We are using Apex thing, but it is not connected at that time.
so when was the heat installed and the plumbing to keep it from freezing?
That is in 2024 December, those time.
Okay, all right. Okay. Sorry to interrupt, Miss Bishop. I'm just trying to establish some facts here. Okay. All right. So, and just to confirm, your estimated value is basically the land value, $225,000.
Because physically a person cannot go like without having ladder and those type of things at that time.
Okay. I have no idea where I am. Did you ask questions, Mr. Seelan?
Let me just look here. Just a second here. Okay, so we don't have any pictures showing us this property with respect to October 1st, 2024, just for clarification.
But if you check the property pictures, you can because that property pictures is in near in 2025, but previous pictures before 2025, you can clearly see some of the pictures that the steps and things were not in place. If you see the garage is with a lot of not even with the floor picture now.
Yeah, that is the PDF I provided, the photos up to March 2025. There are two sessions of the photographs, one with the 30 pictures and one with the other, let me check how many of those.
Just checking, Mr. Chair, just to see.
Okay, I am too.
13 pictures, I guess.
13 pictures?
Yes, 13.
Mm.
Those are the pictures near to March 2025.
Mhm. So just to clarify one more time, the heating and the plumbing weren't functioning as of October 1st. The heating and plumbing were functioning in December 2024. Is that true?
Yes, heating and plumbing. Heating is functioning only in December 2024. Correct. And plumbing, we got the connection, but it was not connected to any of the sink, any of the just connected inside the house. From the house, it was not connected to the bathrooms or kitchens.
Okay, so physically, the water was run to the house. You just didn't have it connected in the house.
No. Nobody can use the toilet, bathrooms, or anything. No water was there in the and even now, most of the toilets are not in place. So at that time, definitely no bathrooms were there in place at that time. So
Just to
because
clarify, was I apologize, was the water not run to the house in September of 2024?
once the water is connected to the house from in came to the house in the basement, from the basement it was not connected to the kitchen, not connected to the bathrooms or any other place. Just came to the basement where the water meter is there.
Sure,
Yeah.
understood. With the heating You have gas heating, I would assume?
Yeah, heating, we just made sure that because in 2023 it got frozen. So because of that, we ensured that in December 2024, heating is connected to the house. And we ensured that heat is there in December 2024.
Okay, was it there before October 1st?
No, definitely no.
Okay, but was I apologize here. Was the meter the actual gas line at the house?
Gas line, we got the connection before, but it was not connected to the furnace because it was a different furnace thing the person installed and everything. And those type of things started functioning only in December. Because
Okay,
we were chasing that contractor to come and do the work. And he was from Israel. So when we asked him to connect it during the fall time, he didn't do. And after he came, he did the connection for us only in December.
December. Okay, thank you. That's all my questions. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Marks, any questions?
Another clarification.
Yeah.
Okay, so the rough-in was done electrically, plumbing, heating. That wasn't connected to the heating until December.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Plumbing was not installed. The meter was there, but nothing was connected.
Correct.
Okay. Gas meter was there and the furnace wasn't connected till December.
Correct.
Okay. That clarifies it for me. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I have no questions, but Ms. Bishop, any rebuttal or comments regarding this situation?
No, yes, I can further comments like the land value, 188,000, and then the cost of what the construction would be, had it been completed by like a builder or someone paid to construct the home would be well in excess of what the applicant is asking for. And had it been listed on the open market versus, a neighbor coming over and making a, a deal, without, any written, I don't think that we can take that as evidence of market value. So, if you're looking at the two estimates of value, one the applicant's proposing, seems like it has no basis, very little basis for a market value assessment versus the evidence I've provided. Given I provide sales and a full cost report and land sales, I feel like I clearly have the stronger position here. So I'll leave it in the board's hands.
Okay. All right. And the applicants, any requirement for summary? You painted you've given us a lot of information to consider here, considering the house and the valuation, but anything else to add?
Yeah, like the city's valuation is just an imagination thing. They does not have anything in reality. They are just assuming some valuation based upon what would have been cost for somebody else. That is nothing reality basis. How the house will be sold, they are insisting what the fair market value of the sold and everything, but they are not even considering the fact that house is not complete. They just want the cost plus land value. It does not happen in Winnipeg. It might be happening in some other imaginary world in Winnipeg. As his value is, if you spend $10, you will get hardly $6 or $7 back. But some other imaginary world, it might be happening. They are too far from the reality of telling that cost of the land is that much and the cost, construction cost is this much. We never even seen that much amount in our life. And we could have built 3 houses if we get that much amount. And just inflating some of the amount doesn't make the reality of the sense, like and even for a house which you cannot enter without ladder, you are telling that it will be sold for 800,000. That much far is their reality to assessing a property.
Okay, understood, to the applicant. Okay, thank you. Thank you for appearing, to both parties, and we'll consider the evidence presented. That concludes item number 12, 555 Elmhurst Road, for the 2024 Realty Assessment Year. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll go take us offline, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mrs. Harlan.
Thank you.
Actually, I should, before we do that, Mrs. Harlan, I'll wait till everybody leaves and then we'll do it.
Actually, we have to go back to those other two items.
So the board will now recess to deliberate with respect to the remaining items to be heard on the docket. And those are items number 1 and number 5 for no show. And we will recess now, Mrs. Harlan. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Chair, thank you.
Mrs. Harlan, I
Yes.
call back to order. The board has deliberated and will proceed with the remaining items in the absence of the applicants. Could I ask the assessor, we're dealing with item number 1, file number 25-292, address is 114 Balmoral Street. Can the assessor please read for the public record the information as required, including the subject property, comparable properties summarized quickly, and
Sure.
why the assessment department is supporting their assessment, please?
Sure. Okay, so this is for 114 Balmoral Street, roll number 120914222000. The property is located in the West Broadway neighborhood. It's a 2.5-story single-family dwelling with an effective age of 1957. It is 3,328 square feet with a finished basement. There's 3 bathrooms and a detached garage. The lot size is 5,979 square feet, and there's a commercial, corner, and traffic influence for the property. The comparables are 92 Balmoral Street, 54 Balmoral Street, 73 Furby Street, and 127 Langside Street. They are all 2.5-story single-family dwellings with effective ages, between 1911 and 1966. The square footages range from 2,264 to 3,363 square feet. 54 Balmoral and 127 Langside have finished basements, and 92 Balmoral and 73 Furby do not. 73 Furby has 2 bathrooms. 54 Balmoral and 127 Langside have 3, and 92 Balmoral has 4 bathrooms. 127 Langside has air conditioning, and the rest do not. 73 Furby and 127 Langside have detached garages, and 92 Balmoral and 54 do not. The lot sizes range from 3,026 square feet to 5,899 square feet. And there's a bus and traffic influence on 92 and 54 Balmoral. And there's commercial influence for 73 Furby and 127 Langside. The time adjusted price for the for these comparables ranges from $339,500 to $652,900, or and the price per square foot ranges from $134.08 to $188.54. The subject property is at $519,000 or $155.95 per square foot. The best 2 comparables are comparables 1 and 2. They're both on the same street as the subject property. Very similar in size and age and attributes, with the subject property having a detached garage and the comparables not having them. I feel that these 2 comparables support our value of $519,000.
Thank you, Ms. Kilborn.
Thank you.
Any questions, Mr. Sloan?
No questions, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Mr. Marks?
No questions for me at this time. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. And I have no questions either.
Thank you.
That concludes item number 1, 114 Balmoral Street. Next, to be heard in the absence of the applicant, we shall proceed in their absence. Mrs. Esser, please go ahead and present the property.
Okay, so this is for 1336 Wolseley Avenue, roll number 12080267000. The property is located in the Wolseley neighborhood. It's a 2-story single-family dwelling with an effective age of 1948. It's 1,412 square feet with a finished basement. It has 3 bathrooms, air conditioning, a gas fireplace, and a detached garage. There is a Assiniboine River influence for the property, and the lot size is 7,380 square feet. The comparables are 912, 1062, and 932 Palmerston Avenue and 1326 Wolseley Avenue. They are all 2 stories, with the exception of 912 Palmerston is a 1 3/4 stories, and their effective ages range from 1928 to 1981. The square footages range from 1,974 to 2,556 square feet. They all have finished basements. 912 Palmerston has 2 bathrooms. 1062 Palmerston and 1326 Wolseley have 3, and 932 Palmerston has 4 bathrooms. 1062 Palmerston has air conditioning and the rest do not. 912 Palmerston, 932 Palmerston, and 1326 Wolseley have garages, and 1062 Palmerston does not have a garage. The lot sizes range from 5,500 to 8,373 square feet, and there is a river influence for all of these properties as well. And the time adjusted price ranges from 621,900 to 860,200. There was an inspection done on this property. There were pictures provided in the evidence. And the value of the property at 622 reflects the upgrades that were done to the property, and this value should be maintained. Thank you.
Could I ask you what the value is, please?
622,000.
22, okay. Thank you. Mr. Marks, any questions of the assessor?
No questions for me, thank you.
Mr. Seelan?
No questions, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, and I have no questions either. That concludes item number 5.
Right.
1346 Wolseley Avenue. We have heard all the items scheduled today, and this hearing is now adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Great
Bye-bye.
day.
I will go take us offline, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.